Welcome back for our listeners that have been here before. For those that are new, welcome to Good Earners, reviewing The Sopranos. And here on Good Earners, we talk about family, finessing, finances, and feelings in the world of Tony Soprano, bringing you a new perspective, a fly perspective, and a black perspective. They say we're not a Sopranos podcast. We're just a glorified crew. Whatever we are, we bring in a lot of commentary. Fellas, how y'all doing today?
Good, man.
Doing well, brother. Doing well, man. Looking forward to today's episode much more than last week's. Last week's kind of felt like a chore, but I am excited to talk to y'all about this one and get your thoughts on it, man. Shout out to everybody out there listening, man. We appreciate y'all.
Yeah, I totally echo the same sentiment. And for those that are listening, thank y'all and welcome back. We got a few, we like to interact with some supporters of ours. And so one message we got, a great gentleman, Chris Falone. I don't know if that's his real name or it's a play on Sopranos, but a cool guy, Italian brother. He definitely gave me a lot.
I'm sure that's a play. Okay. I'd imagine that's a play on.
Yeah, he's hit us up plenty of times. He stays, but he says, love the conversation on Johnny and Little Carmine, talking about last week's episode. Interesting to note that Carlo Gambino never intended to hand the family to his son. Neil Della Croce, if I'm saying that right, and Paul Castellano were ahead of him in the pecking order. I think the great bosses will always put the family over their family, and succession is based on merit. So that was really good. Actually, he said something else too. He asked, do we think when Christopher got robbed, when he was high trying to get some more drugs, do we think it was on, I believe, Jefferson Ave or Jefferson Street? Because he said in season 1 when he was giving Meadow drugs, he said, don't you go over there. Them guys are robbing. He said, do y'all think that that's the same street? And I said, I wouldn't
be surprised.
I would not be surprised. That would be a fire little just nugget there.
That's a great pull, by the way, because that very well could be. That's a great pull.
So, man, shouts out to Chris Falone, man. Dope supporter of ours. And another one of ours, Bricks V. This is going back to, I believe, the conversation y'all had. First thing he says, Rupert Bond. Does that ring a bell at all?
Absolutely. Wire. He was the he was the DA in The Wire, season 5, maybe season 4 and 5, but he was a black dude. Mo,
tall black dude.
I mean, not Mo, Spike. Yeah,
the boss. Yeah, the boss.
No, he wasn't a boss. He was a lawyer.
Yeah, but he was the redhead chick boss, right?
Yeah, he ended up being her. Yeah, absolutely. He got elected. He ended up getting elected.
Nigga look like Michael Smith from ESPN.
That's exactly who he. Yep, that's exactly who he is.
Spike with the lookalikes. But he says Rupert Bond is. He kind of got a little typo here. Said that about Davis and all 4 of the cast were villains. He says Kramer was the kindest, and he was still naively dangerous to a lot of people. Obviously referencing, I guess, our George Costanza take. And then he says, also, I will always be on Team Walt. He said he wasn't shit.
I didn't even know.
But damn,
crazy.
He said, but damn it, he did it his way.
Chestnuts.
Shout out to Frank. Shout out to Frank Sinatra, but. Yeah, man. He might be the only member of Team Walt, man.
Yeah, man.
Him and Walt.
Yeah,
bro. Yeah. Bridge V. I love it though, man. I love when people have a totally different view on something. It's like,
I love it. Yeah, absolutely.
Fire. So
I think what he was saying about Rupert was he the one said the Martin Luther King quote about Clay Davis. Yeah. So I think that's what he was alluding to with that.
I believe so.
Thing?
He says that I think he was saying that they're villains. I'm assuming he kind of was typoed out, said that about Davis and all 4 of the cast were villains.
Clay Davis and all of the cast were villains. Okay.
I'm not sure. Bricks V just hit us back.
I think he was talking about Seinfeld. He was talking about all 4 of the Seinfeld cast.
Oh, everybody from Seinfeld.
Which makes sense. When you think about the finale, of the series.
Sure. I mean,
they was
Jerry a villain.
Jerry's definitely a villain.
Hey,
Elaine is the worst, but don't get me started. Like, don't get me started on Elaine.
That I sent y'all, and I when I tell you, I busted out laughing, bro.
We heard you.
You talking about what?
Funny when George ate out of the trash.
Oh, bro.
bro. It's just like little random shit like that. Out of they make
they got a pee in the shower episode that just get me weak like that.
Oh, it's all pipes. Like, bro, I'll call them right now. Like that show is. Yeah, don't get me started on where I rank it in my sitcoms because people might not like it. But
shit, man.
Seinfeld podcast coming soon. But nonetheless,
it's funny the spectrum of that. We'll get to it, but it's just a spectrum of comedy because I was doing like frames per second with the dead. Ain't got none of them like Seinfeld. I never watched an episode.
See, I didn't either until I watched the episode. I was like, oh, this is now I get it. So I was same way, bro.
That's crazy.
But of course, y'all not here for Seinfeld. Y'all are here for The Sopranos, arguably, if not the greatest television show of all time. And y'all here to review this episode. And this episode that we are reviewing today is season 4, episode 12, Eloise, which is pulled from the conversation and where Meadow and Carmela would normally meet under the painting of Eloise. Dope episode we got coming here, and we'll just jump right into this week's episode. So we're at Uncle Junior's court case and his trial, and the prosecution is making his statement, and he speaks about Junior private meetings in the hospital, and we see that woman that was the undercover lady from, what was that, season 2 or 3?
Season 3.
Season 3? Okay.
Part of season 4, probably too.
Maybe part of, because she popped up like a couple. We didn't really see her like that. And then we get this statement that he's making saying Corrado Soprano is not some harmless old man. He orders up murders like we order up coffee. And it's funny because you remember when he had Mikey kill that guy for making the joke. The transaction was set up. They were going to do what they had to do. Then immediately he said, wait, what did he say? Season 1 had Mikey go back and cap dude. What did y'all think about this opening court scene? Anything y'all take from this?
My dog, Big Bobby, being attentive, man. I love how he was just scouring the eye in the court with the jurors. Excuse me. Tony, last episode, when he went to Junior's, had mentioned, hey, if this thing don't work out as far as your mental state, we can always lean on one of the jurors. Like somebody found out, we can find out information, or we find out where they're being bussed after the trial, whatever it was. And that's when Junior was like, I don't want to talk about that. So Bobby's obviously moved forward with that. You see him scanning it, and just I've said it multiple times how much I love the attention to detail from anybody. And Bobby just kind of he see the wedding ring. He sees that he looks like kind of a middle-aged dad, husband. This is somebody I can lean on, because there's nobody who got anything more to lose than somebody with a family, somebody with loved ones. That's why Batman wear the mask, right? So he saw that right away. It's like, all right, boom, that's the guy. That's the guy that's gonna win this trial for us. I just love that. Because Bobby a G, bruh. Bobby a G. I just love Bobby.
Yeah.
Some would argue Batman wore that mask because he was a criminal too.
Batman is a criminal.
Definitely a criminal,
bro. Get out of here.
But no, I agree with Rich and what he said. What I took most from that scene, I didn't really take anything from the lawyer's dialogue more, but it was more so Bobby on his job, us letting us another layer into their world about how we get stuff like this done, and seeing Bobby scouting in the beginning grounds of it.
Yeah, I mean, and I guess it's like, okay, the handicap thing of him not really knowing stuff ain't working, so it's still extended, like I said. And man, can y'all imagine? Like, Batman was black, bro, he would be locked up. All right, I'm moving on. I just had to get that off. I'm sorry. Like, if he was black doing that, people would be like, oh, he's a criminal. Black Batman.
I do want to go to I do want to just mention how just those subtle reminders of how different of a life criminals live than us. Like, civilians wouldn't dare thinking about jury tampering or anything like that. That's just an automatic thing for them.
Yeah.
Like, in their head, like, they have steps in order of, like, Junior's not losing this trial. Like, if we need to pull out these stops, then we'll pull out these stops. But, like, literally the idea of them, we gonna shake down the juror. Like, we serious about this shit. Are you? You want to see how serious we are? Like, that's crazy, because a normal person wouldn't normally even think about it. Like, it's not even an idea for them. Like, this is going to happen, bro. Like, Junior's going home. One of y'all is helping us.
Yeah, we know if we got a public defender, it's over. It ain't no, you know what I mean? Ain't no, like, okay, we got steps. if this don't work, we can do this. We know it's over, bro. Like, ain't no, so you're right. Like, the mind of a criminal is like, I ain't going.
Yeah, I ain't going, bro.
That's a good pull right there. We get Carmela. She got some food going. She's in the kitchen. AJ pulls up. He's ready to. I guess he rewrote his
scones.
Some scones.
Yeah, some blueberry scones.
What are scones? What is that, like a biscuit?
They're like it's like an English type of thing, Irish type of breakfast dish, breakfast pastry. So it's like a biscuit, like a muffin, like that type of thing.
Some kind of breaded
biscuit and a muffin.
Yeah, breaded pastry.
Works for me. Yeah. So she gets she pulls out the joints and she's immediately stacking them up. You gotta love her as a housemaker. Come on, like she's everything looking fire that she brings out the kitchen. But AJ rewrote his paper, and I will give him some redeem points here. I mean, I think that's cool. We talk about him all the time. I'm always trying to find some kind of way to say he's not as trash, So I thought that was cool.
We find out later he didn't read the book, man.
Hey, don't act like we ain't did that in school.
Most Bills won.
Oh, here we go. Look, it's still lingering after season 3. But Furio comes in hesitantly, and he looks like he's excited to see Carm, or Carm's excited to see him for real. What did y'all gather from this scene? It's a lot of little subtle notes here from how it starts to how this episode ends.
Hey, Spike, before you go, can I just say I want to smack the dog shit out of AJ.
Okay.
Yes.
Bruh, like, come on, man. We got a guest. Say hello, whatever. Come on, bro. You're not about to whatever me. If I'm Furio, I might raise up on AJ.
Yeah, I would have been like an uncle. Oh, you rough a little nigga up. You really you slick serious.
You slick serious.
You want to act like you playing,
yeah. I had to say that at least, but my fault. Spike, go ahead.
Yeah, I would definitely headlocked him and gave him a little, little knuckle rub on the head and all, smacked him upside his head or something.
Gotta do that. I'm kidding, huh?
It's a joke,
Yeah.
Come on. Smack the shit out of AJ. You're right. What was the question again?
But like, what did you gather from the scene? We getting this Furio and Carm. He kind of had a little hesitant look coming in initially, but I was trying to see kind of what y'all gather from this scene, kind of what's going through, like Carmela and because this is where they set up. Is this where they set up the date?
No.
Quotation marks.
That's later on. No, that's later on.
Okay, that's later on.
Yeah, that's a Furio spot.
The only thing I got was I'm glad this shit is almost over.
Yeah. I know. I'll tell you when I get to that
dance that they doing. This little dance that they doing has gotten nauseating as a viewer, especially when it's we know like the end result of it. This is not. This is not.
It's just. Go ahead, Mo.
No, I was just gonna say once we get to the end of this, we can definitely finally put the final nail on what they were trying to do. Were they successful or not? They were successful. Obviously, the show is a legendary show, but we'll get to that point. But what were you gonna say?
I got some thoughts, man. But it's just the scene was really just to I don't know, man. This might be the most explicit that they've been in the same room together. Mm-hmm. Like it's going from hiding and maybe not to where they both know. They haven't spoken about it, but they're sharing like long glances. Like your son is right there at the table. Like you hand him his coffee, y'all staring at each other, smiling and shit. The way that Furio reacts when he gives Tony the tickets, like how sad he gets.
Mm-hmm.
Like, damn, he about to take my girl. Like he's literally on some, damn, man, Tony about to take my girl out. Or some shit like that. Like y'all
life. That's the love of my life, bro.
Yeah, like, and it's like you mentioned, we'll talk about it as we get towards the end of this whole thing. I've said it before, man. I'm upset that they never.
Yeah.
We'll get to it, man. It's nasty.
It is nasty, and it's. I thought this was kind of cool for Tony. Like I think they do such a great job of flipping it on the other side. Like we get episodes where we see how trash Tony is as a husband, and depending on whose perspective they want to shoot it from. But then we get these other sides of this is where like okay, whatever. Like
the Furio, but my bad. Go ahead.
No, my fault. I was just gonna say, but it's still showing that he's a trash husband.
He's still trash.
Tony don't know what's going on. Like he thinks that she cut her hair because of the horse. The horse, everything that's going on with the horse. He thinks that she's so upset about the horse that it caused her to cut her hair, bruh. Like, come on. The look she gives him.
Tony.
Shout out to Edie Falco, man. Just that expression acting. The look she gives him, like, this nigga can't be serious. This nigga cannot be serious right now.
It is sick, like you said, how how Furio is acting, giving the tickets.
Oh man.
What's even more disgusting is Carmella. Like,
you
a man, whole wife, and you trying to like downplay this. Like,
you're trying to get out of it.
Yes, and just because this dude you got a crush on is right there, like that's insane,
bro.
That's some nasty.
Dog,
right
you talk about like Tony tries to dance with her and stuff. She kind of breaks it off like you're in front of my man.
That's nasty work,
bro.
That's some of the nastiest work.
That really that is, bro.
Right there, bro.
It's sick, man.
Bro, I got caught up in doing some stupid stuff like that. Not like married wise, but like prior to this life. But like it's just like you're breaking plans over here that you should be doing, trying to do some other plans.
You mentioned that before.
Real nasty work. Sorry, it just always triggers
That's nasty work, right?
It is.
This is your whole husband, bro, and you like
what's
what the kids?
What's sick?
AJ grown. What are you talking about?
And then look at the opportunity. It's like, bro. Because even we'll see later, there was an opportunity that I think like, oh, this is my moment. But like, there's an opportunity like if Tony gets out of here, and maybe Furio is staying back, and he don't need to whatever, I may be able to, you know what I mean? Like I can do all kind of little shopping with him, and I can do all kind of little getting closer. That's crazy.
You know what's really sick?
Nasty.
You know what's really sick about the whole thing?
Mm-hmm.
You know how kids look at their parents for approval for things? Like somebody might offer them something, they look at their parents first to see if yes or no. Like the way that Carmella was looking at Furio in between, like when Tony was looking away, as soon as she heard the news, she looking at him to see his reaction. Like, damn, what should I say? Like, bruh, don't look at this nigga for approval, man. I'm asking you, I'm your husband. Like, stop playing with me.
She's doing this like they have something.
Like we like
they
do
though.
They do. They have like an emotional tie.
They do, but they don't though. Like
that's
Rose
what makes
said,
it
like,
so.
Bro, what are we even talking about right now?
Like bro,
I feel.
What are we even talking about, bro?
I feel for them, but I'm also upset about how everything played out. But I'll talk about it when we get there, just because I'll talk about what I would have loved to see as a viewer and what I would have thought would have been fascinating television.
Okay,
fascinating television. But we'll get there.
Yeah, I like that. Okay.
Him in a junior high school. She said, AJ, school? Man, you don't figure it the fuck out. Like, fuck AJ.
Right. He all upset because she wants, I mean, don't get me wrong, I get it. You're a proud moment. I don't know how you got these answers or what the paper is, but you want to read to your mom and, whatever. But
no, I think she told him to do it. She made him do that.
He had to rewrite
it. Such a bad grade before.
It'd be like that too. I've definitely had to be like, go back, start over, and start erasing everything off your paper. Stop guessing, go back and do the homework for real. Like definitely been there.
We gotta check your homework.
Yeah, bro.
Damn, that's crazy.
Yeah, no,
we gotta remember that AJ at that new school too. He don't really got too many fuck ups, so she's probably showing that she's more invested. Like you can't afford to get kicked out of this one because then you got to be homeschooled. And
great callback. I forgot about that school switch. AJ fan over here. Tony and Furio.
Fuck out of here.
I tried it.
Like Tony said it. Like Tony said in this scene. Oh, fuck that.
Yeah, right.
Nah, fuck that.
Hey, if I'm Tony, I'm pissed though. Like I got you these. All right, never mind. Let me move on because I belabored it. But like, man. But we get Tony and Furio. They drive off, and Tony's going off about Carm and says that I know she's my wife and the mother of my children, but she could be a moody bee, and bro, that's wild. Like that is wild.
But, you know what I appreciate about this scene, even though we as viewers have the whole story, and we know what's going on with Carmella and Furio. I love the human moment. Because I'm sure when you marry for that long, like Tony, like, damn, like I might be fucking it up, but this is how I know. Everybody talk about love languages. Like, this is how I know how to show you how much I care about you. And you just shitted on my way because you're getting another way from a different nigga. Like, or I've never probably loved you in the way that you need to be loved. But since it was always cool because I was all you had. Now you're seeing somebody else open up doors and possible new experiences, and now you want to explore that. You want more of that, not your way. So the fact that he's upset about it, I get it. Sometimes it's not about right or wrong in situation. It's about understanding the human complexity. And I can understand Tony venting like on some, because he's never done this before, especially in front of Furio. But like, bro, like, can you believe this, bro? I just got tickets. Like, I could have used this favor for anything. Like, I'm trying to look out. I just went to Florida. Everybody, keep it tabs, man.
Come
Damn,
on.
I know you fucked up a little bit, but
Yeah.
like, don't just shit on me. And you did this shit in front of the company. This nigga talking about somebody gotta leave. Now this nigga might think there's some rocks, even though we know he the reason why there's fucking rocky waters. But I just love the fact that we can see Tony, like I said, take right or wrong about it. That's a reasonable response. Like, what the fuck is you on?
It is.
Right.
Especially when you know who you're dealing with. You know who you married. You know what I mean? So this is a lot of weight, holds a lot of weight coming from Tony, knowing how, miserable of a prick he is.
Man, Furio clenching his jaw and shit.
If Georgie had said she's probably worried about my mother, he probably would have got hit by the car.
What?
Like Georgie, if Georgie had said that,
he
probably would have threw him out and ran him over.
He definitely would have. Like, but yeah, and you see Furio now, he's getting mad. Like he talking about my girl.
Yeah, like you talking about my girl. Like, nigga,
this nigga breathing hard. This man doing woo size.
He is pissed. Like
he's talking about my.
Like, bro, what's up with you?
This nigga's talking about my woman. Like
that nigga's at 10-2. Like,
bro,
come on, bro.
This man ain't looked away. This man can't hide a lick of. Bro, this man is pissed. Like, who this nigga is talking about my girl like that?
Man, they go to show how we talk about. Tony not even considering. He ain't even paying attention to that because it's obvious though.
Yeah,
like, he's
obviously like frustrated, and Tony ain't even like because he's so frustrated. He like, so what?
You know what that shit remind me of, right?
What?
Remind me of the episode of Martin when Martin found out the time and Pammy was dating. And that nigga Tommy popped up like, "Hey, you gonna have to chill on the insults." And that nigga like,
I better go back here.
Yeah, Furio was one more comment away from being like, "Hey, man, you gotta chill on Carmella."
Yeah,
like,
he was one more.
He was one comment away from that shit, bro.
Perfect reference right there. It's a perfect reference.
That was really good.
That really was good. You know we love Marty Marr. Then we transitioned from that to Little Carmine Sr. and Johnny Sack.
Oh, there he is, live from Miami.
Is. Yeah, man. I don't know why I love seeing people on the golf course. I ain't golfed before, but it's one of my favorite settings on the Sopranos for whatever reason. I don't know. I'm a nature person. That's probably what it is.
Lou was just out there this past weekend.
I just went Saturday, man. You got to go, Mo. Y'all love it when we get together.
I'm super serious about it too. I'm definitely down to go, bro.
Y'all will love it.
Yeah, hook it up. So why do y'all think Johnny is playing this tune about like? This is where he kind of changes his about the 40% now. Like,
was it Johnny or was it Lil Carmine?
What you mean change his tune, Mo?
Well, it seems like he was riding his wave. He was, following the orders of the boss. He kind of, but then all of a sudden now he feels like it's steep, and then
because he probably had. All right, so I think that Johnny, which is why he was my number one pick in the Sopranos draft. I think Johnny sees the long game, kind of similar to how Seal might be starting to see it. I'm number 2 right now, but Tony went to Little Carmine. He didn't come to me. He's been coming to me, but now he went to Little Carmine, which makes me believe that people are under the assumption that Little Carmine is next. So I know that Little Carmine's here. It doesn't do me any justice to kind of beef with this or even rock the boat. Let's see if we can use our powers to make sure that we get this thing done. Because at the end of the day, we don't have time to be beefing with Jersey. And I think that's why Johnny was just on some like, yo, let's just get this done. Get your pops to be, they said it, man. He an angry old dude. It might be a little bit hard for him to kind of recalibrate. 40% is steep. And I do believe Johnny probably told him in the beginning, like, yo, that's a lot. If somebody came to you for 40%, you tell them fuck off.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But, unfortunately, Little Carmine got daddy issues, but we'll talk about it.
Yep. Just was about to get to that. What say you, Spike?
I'm not sure what side I fall on here as far as was John trying to put Lil Carmine in a position where people wouldn't fuck with him, like what Rich was saying, or was he really being a Johnny Sack and conniving and cool as we know it, and wanting like he was a couple plays ahead? I couldn't really pick up on what he was doing there, and especially at the end when Lil Carmine pulled the rug out from under him and kind of like totally went against what they had talked about.
Mm-hmm.
Like I always found that as weird. Rich brought up a good point there as well. Okay, well, no, Tony going to Lil Carmine because he feels like he can't talk to me anymore. How threatened did Johnny feel about that? Like, was this a play on him being threatened by it, or did he just want to make Tony or other people look at him like, well, this may be a legitimate number two? It's always been a confusing scene for me. I've never really gotten a lot of clarity on, what was up with it.
The reason I
really
even
want to know what you guys think.
The reason I think is because there's no extended storyline as far as John and Little Carmine. Like, very quickly between the end of season 4 and the first 2 episodes of season 5, maybe 3. Like, you know what I mean? Everything kind of comes out. So that's why I thought, man, this kind of sets that. This is the first time that we see whatever happens in the beginning of season 5. I'm not going to spoil it. We see the beginning of that tension right here. So that's what makes me think Johnny Sacks is on some, like, he tried to just get this deal done, but now it's turning into some other shit. Because there's events happen in this episode that make Johnny realize I need to stop bullshit and I need to kind of position myself.
So why do y'all think Little Carmine took the turn on Tony?
Well, here's why.
Because he made that comment. Go ahead, Mo.
So,
he made that comment.
So Carmine made the comment that he says when I first met Tony, he was as decisive as he is. He would have loved to call him my son.
But there's still no threat to me though. Like,
well, he got dad issues, bro.
Yeah, but that's a harsh line to hear when you know that, like, your son has a reputation for already looking, down upon.
So y'all took that as this is
listen, they've been setting this up that he's got father issues. That comment right there triggering him, like the fact that I'm a grown man, live my own life in a whole nother state. But you saying that another man, you would have been proud to call me your son? Fuck, dude. I'm about to badmouth him. Remember last episode when Tony went to Miami to go see Little Carmine? Little Carmine made a point to say, I haven't been afraid of my dad in a long time. Like, just that reverence factor was always there. Like, people looking at me like Little Carmine. People don't like that. You know what I mean? And Little Carmine, I'm sure, doesn't like that. And the fact that, you think Tony's that nigga? Why would I help him when I just heard you say that? That means you look at me like I'm shit. You already got Johnny Sacks up here when it should be me next to you. Like, so both of them are starting to feel on some, where do I stand in this? Like, if some shit were to happen, what's the next move?
But I think that's what. No, I was just gonna say, and I think Little Carmine did make a good point though. Like, within some of the confusing verbiages of how he, we know his character's written, he made a good point here where he says your relationship with Tony, he doesn't look at you as a business associate, which I thought was like pretty dead on. I was like, wow, Little Carmine kind of came with a little heat right there, because he said, I've been knowing Tony for years. Of course, we get the famous glorified crew line here. How could we forget? Which is, it's still just like, all right, like you from the old school, you don't understand. We getting money over here. You know what I mean? Like, he just got a different. He don't even know. Like, they probably been getting money under Carmine, in Jersey quietly for a grip. That's why I feel like Johnny Sack is like, nah, bro, nah. Like, even when y'all had Ralph around, Carmine was just saying, hey, there's millions of dollars at stake. Millions of dollars at stake. Don't act like we just a glorified crew, bro. Like, if we was, then y'all, you know what I mean? Come on, like.
Hey, and imagine if I come to your crib, Mo. Let's say you invite me down. Invite me down, man. Come to the crib, man. You stay with me, whatever case is. I walk in. Hey, Mo, you need to go to the grocery store and get some of this. You need to do some of that. You should do this with your yard. I think it'd be, bruh, don't come in my territory, my space, and tell me what to be doing and try to take over shit. But you in Miami, you have no idea what the fuck is going on up here. Like, let me set this up and tell you what you should be saying, and it's gonna work out for everybody. But now you're making key facts about some shit. You're not hearing part of the day-to-day. Like, fuck out of here, bruh. Like, Carmine out of, and that's another reason why Johnny looking at him like, bruh, what the fuck is you on?
You wildin'.
Yeah.
Like, let's think about I think Little Carmine he called Johnny Sacks he called him practical last episode.
Pragmatist.
Yeah, he's a pragmatist, which pretty much means he's gonna go off like logic more than ideals. Like, this makes sense right now. Like, I don't fuck my principles and my morals. Like, is this gonna make us bread today? Cool, let's do it. I think that word gets brought up again this episode. So
it does, yeah.
Yeah, man. Johnny looking at the bread because y'all can bicker and shit, but my pocket's getting affected.
Yeah, he was like, all right, bro, I rode with a wave. Let's see what we got. We went through it, but like now you trying to get on some, like, I'm dying hard for the 40 right now. He's like, bro, come on. Carmella and Furio. Furio starts going strong with his game in this scene.
You're an amazing woman.
You're a very special woman. I would love to go with you to the Home Depot. It's a date.
Don't be calling my wife no amazing special woman, nigga.
Don't be calling my woman special. I'm the only one to call her special.
Yeah, nigga, don't be calling my woman special, nigga.
That's funny, bro. But he really starts to go hard here. So do y'all think at this point he's already built in his mind that I'm going to try to whack Tony because of what his uncle in Naples' advice was? Because it seems like he's getting way more like into it now at this moment.
I don't think Tony's even on his mind. I think he really locked in on Carmelo. I think he doesn't think about Tony until he thinks about Tony. But at this moment, he thinks, you got to think, especially when you, it sounds funny to say because Carmelo married, but when you in love and shit, just think about that puppy love and how much you, especially if you haven't experienced everything you want to experience in that relationship, like all of that longing and all that shit, that's what's on his mind. He ain't thinking about Tony, like, fuck that. He's made peace with that.
Yeah.
Like, if it come down to it and I need to, I get a shot, I'm gonna take it. But that's not what Furio's conditioned to do. He wasn't built like that. Remember, we were introduced to Furio as a soldier.
And that's gonna
I'm a soldier, bro. I got principles. He's not pragmatic.
Yes.
Like, I got a pragmatic, excuse me. Nigga, this is exactly what I'm here to do. I'm gonna fall in line every single time. It's a date.
It's a date.
Fuck out of here, man.
To the Home Depot.
Disgusting.
Yeah, some tile shit, man.
Yeah, I can't. When we get to the wrap up on this whole thing. Yeah, well, I'll echo more things. It won't be so much built around the storyline. I'm gonna throw this ball in your court, and I'm gonna step away real quick because I need to get some toilet paper here. We go. Nah, we're not doing that. No. The basic human needs. We're not doing that. Goodness gracious. That is crazy, bro. This guy. Toilet paper. All right. I'm sorry. All right.
No, wait a minute, though. Wanting to grab some toilet paper in the middle of a podcast is kind of nuts, though.
I can't blow my nose, bro. Like that's
usually you say I'm going to go blow my nose, though. You don't say I'm going to get some toilet paper.
I'm going to go blow. All right. I'm going to go get some toilet paper. What are you insinuating? Like just what are you insinuating?
What's my man name that died on the toilet? I'm insinuating that you might be podcasting from the toilet. Yeah, you might put in the GG right
okay,
now.
good. Look at that.
You might got the background blacked out, and you just sitting on the toilet like, dropping loads off while you doing the podcast.
Might not come out of there, boy. Like, that's crazy. That's a good one.
Hey, hold on. Let me go grab some toilet paper. I just finished.
Toilet paper is crazy.
I've been shitting the whole time we were doing the podcast.
That would be crazy. Like the whole time. Like, all right. That's good. Spike pretty good. You get his chops up, man.
Man, that's just silly because I know you ain't got a full suit on, so that makes it even more funny.
Hey, man, look, you don't know. I'm getting my casino on, man.
Hey, you know how crazy it is to throw a suit jacket on a tie, be sitting on the toilet for like the last 40 minutes. You know how crazy that was.
Yeah, that's wild, bro. It's like, bro, pick a struggle, bro.
Hey, that's some Seinfeld shit right there.
Shout out to you. Shout out to you for that casino reference, Mo.
Yeah, I don't know his name, but you know, yeah.
That's Sam Ace Rothstein.
Hey, okay, got you. But yeah, but I would say, Spike, I'm gonna send you something. There's a modern Seinfeld Instagram page where they just make these 4-bar synopses of like a storyline for like today's era, and it's so fire. It fits their characters perfectly.
Yeah, send it to me.
Yeah, I'm gonna send it to you. That's a good page to just get a little humor out of. But so yeah, I'm
gonna throw it in our court about the old women.
We'll go to the next thing, but we'll just say that I call them the Golden Girls. Pretty much the Golden Girls.
This scene is funny though. This scene is really fun.
Oh, you got a deep dive here?
No, I just said it was fun.
I got
Olivia running over her friend.
Yeah, it is. Only thing I was going to mention is it doesn't. for us, it doesn't really resonate. But think about why they even got in an accident, because they saw a parking spot that was closer. Like, to us, to younger people, this is one of those things. We're getting old. We see this with Junior's character. For younger people, we would just stay where we was at, get out and walk. It ain't no big deal. That parking spot ain't gonna be no life or death. For them, as older women, that's a big deal to get a prime parking spot. So them rushing to do that shit, just the idea of getting old, eyesight, her glasses ain't on, they in her pocket. How much damage a little fender bender in a parking lot can do, all that kind of good stuff. But it is a hilarious scene. Okay. Yeah. You need to be driving all that shit. It's hilarious, man.
Yeah.
These women are hilarious. All this shit. All of it. Yes.
All of it.
Yes. All of it. It's funny. All of it.
I would say a part of it.
No, all of it. Even later in this episode, that shit got a way of being funny.
Hilarious. And that's the part. It's that part of it.
What this setup was hilarious.
But it's so consistent, though. Consistent with the elderly behavior, which I think is great writing. I will give David Chase this credit. I mean, he don't need my credit, but like the credit of how him and all of the writers involved, how they are consistent with writing teenagers like a AJ Soprano or Meadow, and then writing these elderly people like these old women on here, like and Livia, and Junior, like the range of like people's behavior is really consistent and very true to life, which makes, of course, this world feel real as many of the other traits. But we go over to Tony Seal and Furio. They're at the casino. And I'm gonna throw the ball right in your court. What did y'all think about this whole setup? This could have been Carmella, but instead it's not. So what did y'all think about this?
I show it to you, Rich.
Shout out to Patsy. Patsy was definitely in that room as well.
Yeah.
But we've met them from the Columbus episode. So obviously the connections are still there with the family. Just a new place to hang out, spend some money. Obviously the big thing about this scene, another disgusting display of affection by Furio, getting upset because Tony out here doing this thing. Like, once again, you cheating on my girl. That shit just disgusting anyway.
He's got to be one of the worst niggas to have in a crew. Got a crush on your girl. Now he judging you. Yeah, when y'all like getting down. Oh my god!
And he giving you the fame. It's funny because that whole verse that you always like. This is what that verse is. Because my man's over here giving him the toast. And like being like, see it like.
Oh, like 100%.
Because he's like Furio over here giving him the toast, like raising up, knowing he's sick to his head. Like he's disgusted with Tony, but he's still like egging it on and shit like that. So he's not gonna say anything. But for me, the biggest thing is when they try to leave. I don't know if this is in the same scene or if it's a cutaway or not.
It's in the same scene with.
Yeah, it's a cutaway. It's a cutaway. It's a cutaway. But yeah, Tony out here doing his thing. And Furio sick of it. Furio want to step to him and like, hey man, don't be treating Carmelo like this.
He ready to get his Tommy Strong on so crazy right now.
And got a full on chick right there by, like, bro, what are you on? Like this is disgusting.
Yeah,
he's in love.
I love your girl.
Insane. Like, he for real deal in love.
For real, bro. Shit. This man got the blues,
crazy, bro.
Yeah.
Both you niggas is weak.
It ain't got too real, man. It ain't got too real.
Carmelo and Furio, both you niggas is weak. How about that?
Facts, man. Like,
y'all niggas is weak. Love ain't worth fighting for.
Yeah, like, tighten the fuck up. Like,
you know what I mean? Let's call it what it is. Like, y'all niggas.
Yeah, like that would be.
That's why
my first words. Like, y'all tighten the fuck up. Like,
all right, come on, man.
How mad I could actually be at like this bullshit that y'all got going on. Yeah. I was Tony, but y'all like need to be fucking for real. Both of y'all be fucking for real, and let's move on and be adults here. Like, what are y'all doing? Y'all like y'all in high school, bro.
Because the risk is equally the same. Just do it.
Like, come on. Like, y'all, you're going like Carmelo, not so much maybe, but Furio, like, you if we're sitting here and having a conversation about it, and you really playing this out, like, the worst case scenario for you is death.
Yeah.
So now you're telling me, based off a crush that you have, you're willing to lose your life. Like, you're willing to risk that much, and you that man. Like, come on, bro. How long do it take an adult to process? It's like, oh, this is never gonna happen. Let me move on. Let me find something to play with in this casino. Let me do anything else but like sit here and fantasize over my bosses that can kill me wife. And the same thing with Carmelo. Like, you talking about being flat out on your ass broke. Like, this is the way you going out. This you choosing Furio? Tony gonna make it hard for you
Mm-hmm.
if you don't die. Like you
Yeah.
may very well much die too, but we got kids together, so that probably won't happen. But it's gonna be very difficult for you to like live a normal, healthy life. So like, what are y'all really doing here?
Some real
I think that's what makes it
Shakespearean.
so frustrating. Like,
There's
come
some real
on.
Shakespearean tragedy shit, man. Some real Shakespearean tragedy shit. Yeah, man. It's just nasty all the way around. Yeah, I feel like Marlo at this point. Marlo Stanfield. The very first words he ever spoke when he appeared on The Wire.
Do it or not.
Either do it or don't, but I got somewhere to be. I don't give a fuck about this shit no more. Y'all gonna do it or not?
Really got nothing to do with it. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I've always said, man, I wish they would have just did it. Like, just to cut the tension. Do it or don't. Like all this other shit, y'all making me sick.
Yeah, the high school shit.
Have an affair. Act like an adult for once.
Act like an adult for once. Come on.
You know what that's from, Mo?
Sounds familiar.
No.
Matter
of fact, man, here's a hint right here.
Yeah. Carolina Blue Chicks, hottest nigga on the block. Usually 5 since I was a crossover weight to weight sick.
Who is this?
So my
Jay-Z.
together, forget it forever. You act like you can't get whoever. Talking about
you got a man. Okay, that's high school making you actually chase around for months. Have an affair. Act like an adult for once.
I mean, hey, what are you gonna do?
But the married man, like,
like, yeah, I don't know what that.
Man, those are some interesting lyrics.
even more so after Lemonade.
You got to listen to Jadakiss version though. Jadakiss got a crazy version.
He go crazy,
does, man. The original Best
crazy,
of Me.
Yeah. But he was like, you ain't even gotta leave. Jadakiss told her, you don't even gotta leave. I'm gonna pay both y'all rent. So forget about the condo. So forget about where you live at right now and just come to the crib.
I got y'all both. Don't worry about it.
Straight up. That's some wild shit.
He was being an adult about it.
Yeah. Jadakiss was wild on his part.
Definitely being an adult about it. But we get the cutaway as Rick had spoke of with Paulie. He visits his ma, and Paulie tells her, "You ain't driving. You ain't driving my ma anymore." I didn't really get nothing. Yeah. I care zero about the Golden Girl scenes at all. I mean, I just don't like. This is up there with the kid scenes. For me, all these scenes is kind of up there for me. I get what they needed to do to get where they're going. It makes sense. But I care zero.
All of this doesn't pay off until it pays off.
And even then, to me,
the payoff for it, that was worth it. That was fucking worth it because we see how hard he goes for his mom.
But think about
we know how much this means to him. So the payoff from this, it was
but think about
it was one of the brilliant strokes of this show.
But think about it. All we really needed, if we keep it a glass of water, all we really needed was that scene where they're packing up the rolls and saying, "Hey, you keep that money under the mattress. Hey, don't worry about where I keep money." That's all we needed. We could have got maybe they own like Furio and Carmella about to smash. Give us something before it's finally out. Like we just don't need this many times. Like they did this slow build to give us this whole setup that.
This play. I'm talking about even beyond the payoff of this episode.
Oh, you talking about the
final payoff? Yeah.
The ultimate payoff for what this relationship means to Paulie and why and him going so hard on it. Like the ultimate payoff, all of this adds into it, and I think it's worth it. Like it is frustrating in the moment to watch these, but when it pays off, it pays off.
It's good soprano writing, but the reveal for me, it was like, yeah, so what? Like I was never invested in.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I never was invested in Peter Paulie, like where he's from. I never was that invested in him. I would be more invested in who is Silvio's peoples. Like I would have been way more like, who is Silvio people? Who's his mama? Who's this? That I never cared that much about Paulie. As captivating as the character he is, I just didn't never care that much about. Oh, let's learn a little bit more about. I just don't care. I never did. Like I don't know. It wasn't no payoff for me. But I get the big bomb when it comes, and I think they just gave us too many of these Golden Girl scenes. Like for real. But shouts out to the Minute Maid vending machine, bro. How classic is that?
Yeah,
that's real.
I remember old school,
bro. go for a Minute Maid now, boy.
Fruitopias in there.
Fruitopias, man. Mr. Pibb joints, you know what I'm saying? All that. Yeah. Don't get me started on
They
nostalgia.
started with, I was just gonna say, man, they started with the little can joints, the little fruit punch Minute Maid can joints. Oh man,
man,
clenching
your thirst out there, boy.
Facts, boy.
We had them joints at the swimming pool, bro, in the apartments. Like,
you can run that whole thing.
Like,
I ain't even taking no. Yeah, you ain't even got.
Yeah, no breaths, bro.
Nah, you taking the whole thing, bro. Strawberry lemonade.
Pop 2 more quarters in immediately because you know.
Yeah, come on with that.
Yeah. Oh man, the good old days.
It was nice and cold too.
Oh man, come on,
freezing.
Bro. Yeah, you got that nice.
So old. The people kids even use vending machines anymore?
That's a great question.
Yeah, they use it. They just probably using their debit cards now.
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean.
They don't know about that struggle of looking for change, searching for change.
Only the silvers.
Change.
Got to find the silvers only.
Don't even take dollars.
Yeah,
put quarters in here, little
boy. Good times, man. Come on. But we get Carmela visits Meadow, and I guess she got a little apartment off campus, which is dope. What did y'all think about this? I see we meet one of her roommates' mother. This is where I was speaking of, where I said I would have been interested in a Meadow spinoff. This is just me. It wouldn't have had to be. These scenes give me that feeling. All the stuff we gotten up until this point, I'm like that. I think it could have been an interesting.
You want to see what Meadow was doing at the law center and shit.
Well, just figure out how she started. Every time she tries to get away, this could have been like somehow this could have been Power Ghost in some kind of Soprano.
But Meadow ain't doing shit interesting enough for me to care.
I was just gonna say, bro, I couldn't disagree more, bro. Like I could give a fuck or two less.
What? Yeah, but they're not writing it in that way because this is like
they are though. They trying to like I live with a princess and. This guy, like, man, I
think that's a callback when we get there. I think it's a callback to another character formerly, but
Meadow follows. Here's the thing, man. Meadow follows a manual. Like outside of once she hits that age, we all know women mature quicker than men and all that stuff. Once she hits that age of maturity for her, there's no turning back. Like we see her in high school do the high school party, mess up Livia's house. We see the Noah, that first love experience and that whole shit and shit with Jackie Jr. But after that, Meadow follows the manual. If he was a parent and you wanted your daughter, she doesn't have anything
There's no interesting thing about her life.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I get what you're saying, Mo, as far as how we're viewing how the show was written, but I also can't see anything from what we get from the character of Meadow that will make me interested enough to see what your day-to-day is like. Like that wouldn't entice me.
It wouldn't be enough
because you're doing all the right shit.
Yeah, it ain't enough mess in it. It wouldn't be anywhere enough mess.
That's true. I mean, you probably would have to introduce an additional character that's going to bring the mess.
To be up in New York fucking a black dude. That's what's going to have to be.
That's what.
And that's what.
That might be.
She ran into some thug from the law center. She ran into Ghost.
Spanky, yeah.
That's funny.
And Ghost is fucking Meadow. And then you got this Tony versus Ghost battle.
Tony and Ghost.
That's what needs to happen.
Yeah, you know how Ghost be killing everybody. Yeah, he would have got through there.
Oh no, man. Yeah. Ghost and Tony would have been a battle.
That'd been a great battle. People like, man, get out of here. So people probably like laughing us out the room right now.
That's
favorite anti-hero, by the way. But yeah, it is not.
You see that?
Well, she's waiting on Finn. She says that he loves her, and it's whatever. Anyway, what was you gonna say, Rich? Sorry.
No, I was just gonna say this is when I rewatched it, just noticing Carmela getting jealous of Meadow, and this is kind of where it starts with the roommate's mom even coming over and say, Meadow was just so great what she does, and her volunteering at the law center, and she does this, like your congratulations, and she's like got that grin on her face, but it's the one of those first signs of this is what I want people to say about me too. Like Meadow's living the life that I wanted for myself, but I couldn't do it.
Mm-hmm.
So now they talk about parents living. They talk about parents living vicariously through their children.
Yeah.
I don't know if they talk enough about what if this kid's living the life that I really wanted and I'm jealous about it. Like there's a that thing exists. I'm sure. Like parents, I'm sure are jealous of their children.
I definitely know Carmela is. That's been a thing 100%. I've been echoing for Grip from her college choices you know, who she was dating when she was dating Noah, like all of just the freedom to do what she wanted to do, Jackie Jr., things breaking off and how she could just move on. Like she's been having that underlining jealousy of like, I wish I could have done things differently, even though she could have, but in her mind, you know, she feels
everything. Even the very last scene of this episode, like everything is directed that they say good about Meadow. She wishes it was her.
Mm-hmm.
Like all of that's unpacked this episode.
Hater.
Boy.
Big hater.
Big hater energy.
And obviously they're them both understanding what it's like to not have the nigga that they love tell them I love you first.
Yeah.
Because Carmela waiting too.
Yeah, but Carmela's wild because she goes from this vibe to a whole nother vibe later in this episode. And I forgot this part of this vibe existed in the same episode for some reason. Because she's just like, oh, like, yeah, some men you just gotta wait. Men be on their own time. You just gotta wait for them. It's like, ma'am, you're not on the same type of time. You have a man. You are married at 20 years. What are you talking about? Ma'am, you don't have a relationship with Furio. You don't have a kiss, a sex. Y'all don't have anything. Y'all are talking about going to Home Depot. Stop trying to give me advice, please. Goodness. Anyways, well, I get on my soapbox, but like, yeah. Tony brings drunk cousin Brian back, and he is slapped again, bro. Like, cousin Brian, again, he's living the life that Jackie Jr. should have lived, bro. Because this man is he's getting the best. Like he's wilding, bro. Like he's a civilian dude, like getting to hang with the mob guys or whatever. But Furio still got on a puss face. But yeah, so the guy
mad at Furio, bro. Yeah.
Oh, what was you gonna say? I'm sorry.
I just said I'd be mad at him sitting there with that dumb look. People kicking it. Niggas is drunk. You was sitting there like puss face. Cause you miss my wife. Niggas like, what's wrong? What's wrong with you?
You miss my wife. I miss you.
Got old school songs playing in his head.
Bruh. Like,
my wife. It's my wife, nigga.
That's my wife. So you want your mama to be your woman. But she my woman. Right. She my woman.
Hey, speaking of women, man, shout out to old girl. Marty, why don't you just chopper him out?
Oh man, bro. That was crazy. And they was in the hole with
Marty, I gotta walk over there like the phone ain't like, he ain't even answer about the helicopter.
Oh yeah, you gotta do that.
Right. Limo. I was shocked that he really made the call.
And bitch, and you fired.
Well, you gotta remember, this is the guy from season 3, I believe, Christopher.
No, it's from Columbus. Yeah, Christopher Columbus or Christopher.
Yeah, Columbus. Yeah, but Christopher. Yeah, that's what I say. So remember, Seal
he got them that casino, right?
Well, yeah, remember Seal got them caught off guard when they thought they was getting a hookup, and it would end up being something on the flip side. And then Tony said, "You gonna fix that? You gonna make it right?" But now they still got that payoff. So now Tony's really maxing out that, like, oh yeah, I remember. You know what I'm saying? So I thought that was like, yeah, let's get the chopper. You know what I'm saying? Like,
but this scene shows you so much. For one, there's always levels.
Mm-hmm.
Right, them niggas didn't even know about the chopper. Like, he's not supposed to know about the chopper. The chopper is reserved for the big boys.
Like them.
Yeah, like when he says it on the phone, like that's 15K between the 5 of them. That's 3K ahead. Like, bro, that's not chopper money.
Nothing.
That's not even filling the gas tank.
Nothing. Exactly.
For the round trip. So, like, the fact, but y'all friends of ours, now that you know the chopper exists, I at least have to, in good faith.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like no different than when we spoke about that episode. We had the conversation of if they even had the call. Like if Redfoot, I forget what his name was.
Red Clay.
We were even talking about, like, did he even make the call to see if he could do this for Tony or do this for Seal? Like, yes, he did, because everybody works in good faith. That's why I'm sure he made this call to see. He's on the phone like, damn, man, like I can't act like the chopper right here, because now they're gonna ask questions. Now they know what exists, so we might as well get it out the way now.
Got that? Yeah, they that even though they ain't spending money like the usual whales, it's still some of those guys. Like this Tony fucking Soprano. Like if he know I got a chopper and then offer it to him like he wasn't a big dog, then it might be like some other repercussions to pay. And it's funny how those chicks interpret it like they can't tell one way or the other. They don't know if these $1 million niggas, $100,000 niggas, 500,000. Like they don't even know. Oh, they just big whales. So it is hilarious. That's a good point that you bring up, Rich.
My only issue if I'm Marty is what kind of precedent are we setting? Do y'all niggas think every time y'all come in and spend 15, 20K that y'all get in the chopper? We can shut that shit down right now. Like, that's not gonna happen.
This one time. Yeah, this one time.
Yeah, we fuck with y'all. Like, matter of fact, chopper's available. We usually reserve this for 100,000 up club, 6-figure club. But you know, since y'all friends of ours, we're gonna take care of
y'all. So we get outside. Tony's, cousin Brian's throwing up. Tony's out there about to, take a leak, and Furio gets in his mind and said, "This is my chance. I'm about to run Tony's head through the propellers." And then right at the last minute, Tony's like, "Hey, what you doing? What you doing?" Like, and he realized, oh, he ain't drunk like I thought he was.
Super.
I don't even think it was that.
What he snapped out. I
think Furio snapped out of it because, as I mentioned earlier, he's conditioned to be a certain way. I think that was his moment where he was like, he finally had a moment like the rest of us, like, yo, what the fuck am I doing? I'm really about to kill this man. Like, knowing I can't even have a relationship with her after this, because who gonna let you do that?
Yeah, they don't never allow that in the mob.
Even if they never thought you were the person that did it, and they're not just gonna let you be with the boss's wife, Furio, the driver. People gonna put that together real quick. So I think Furio just had that moment, like, yo, I'm fucking buggy. I'm wilding. I'm about to push Tony Soprano in a fucking helicopter blade because I'm in love with his wife. Like, say that shit out loud and think about how crazy that is.
Say it out loud.
I think that was that moment. I think he would have done it if he didn't have enough self-restraint to be like, yo, I can't, what the fuck? Like, can't kill this man over Carmelo.
Yeah. Wow. It's one of the stupidest scenes of this whole series. I hated it. First of all, if I'm going to piss, you ain't pissing by that damn propeller, bro. Your piss gonna fly all back on you, bro. Like you're gonna be as far away from that plane as possible if you pissing, because you don't want it to fly back on you. So that was I've always thought that every time I watch this. I'm like, bro, nobody's pissing right there.
Yeah.
So that was one of the frustrating things about this scene for me throughout the series, because it felt so forced. It felt like that they needed to create an adversary for Tony that at the end of each season, who's going to kill him? Is he going to survive? That they wanted to pose those questions in the earlier seasons. And this one just felt like so out of place. Even with all of the stuff that he's doing with Carmella, with all the things that they gave us to show leading up to this, just being in the position where, I may be able to push him into a helicopter propeller. Like, stop, bro. That was one of the most ridiculous scenes of this whole series.
You might be on to something, bro. I think so.
Like I said, starting with no one is pissing right there.
Yeah, I want to have the conversation about the Furio character, where it started and where it ended, but we can wait until the reveal happens here. Do y'all want to wait then or have it now?
We can wait. Keep pushing along.
Okay,
let's go to the reveal. Yeah.
All right, Tony and Carmella. The morning this happened. The morning after, Furio hadn't come by, and Carmella has a pout about it, and she knows how late he is. He's 40 minutes to be exact. Tony says, "Hey, if he comes by, man, just hey, bro, tell him go on about his bit. Like, don't even worry about today." It almost seemed like she got
with somebody last night was nasty too. That was disgusting.
Yeah, this is. Ugh. I know these things happen. These pump fake affairs happen. I know it happens. And I get it. They were trying to be different, and they were different in the time. But golly, but we'll get to it. Goodness. The green though, I did think the green fit was a nice little fit for Carmella. I thought it was a good coordination. We really stood up.
Hips.
Happy St. Patty's Day, everybody.
There you go.
Happy St. Patty's Day.
How about that? Yeah.
Not for real, man. Fuck St. Patty's Day, but you know.
And hitting him up on the phone, like.
No, hold on. Let me stop. Stop, man. Let me talk. I don't mean that. Like, I don't celebrate, but it ain't fuck St. Patty's Day. I personally don't celebrate. But if you do celebrate, man, shout out to y'all.
Yeah. Get your green.
I'd have had some bad experiences on St. Patty's Day. That's why I don't partake. But I know people do take it seriously. So it's not cool for me to say fuck something because I ain't with it.
Yeah. Okay.
You know, growth, man.
Look at Rich.
Shout out to another week in the books, man.
Look at Rich over here.
Help me with my growth. Exactly.
Why you do that, girl? What is that?
That's the insecure.
That's
growth.
Kelly, man. Kelly.
Okay, girl.
One of the best characters on TV, man.
Yeah,
I like Kelly. She was hilarious.
Yeah, she was one. She was one of the one.
Somebody was probably listening and did the 50 thing. Like, what do you say fuck me for?
Right. Right. Like, bro, what did I do?
Right there.
That's out of hell. An Irish bar. But yeah, shouts out to Carmela. Meadow calls to invite her parents to her apartment for a Sunday dinner. I thought this was cute. I was like, oh, that's adorable. Like you growing up now, you in your college, you got an apartment now. You trying to bring them over, and we'll take care of everything. Maybe you can just bring some wine because basically we get that cheap wine, which is accurate to college. I feel like a lot of times we always had that cheap liquor, so that was pretty cool. Anything else y'all wanted to add to this?
Just go figure, man. Carmela just beyond her frustration. She perfect example of their relationship. He comes down fucked up. Ask her to get some coffee. She gets the coffee. He don't even want it. Go right back upstairs. Yeah, it's a small thing, but those things add up over time. Add up, bro. This is the perfect. This is the perfect. Lens into our relationship. I'm always doing. I'm always giving, and you just don't care about it. You don't appreciate it. Now we got a cup of coffee that I'm just got to throw out. What she did, she put it right in the sink and just poured it out.
That's funny.
Like I'm always doing shit, and you don't even care. Which is why I'm fucking with, or trying to fuck with Furio.
Yeah, a good cup of coffee, man. Don't waste a good cup of coffee, bro. Freshly brewed in the morning. Don't do that.
She pouring Tony down that drain, bro. She ain't pouring that coffee. She pouring Tony down. Yeah,
you're right. Yeah.
Going back to bed was crazy though. Like I always like, how early was it? Like for him to get up.
It was whatever Furio's normal time picking up. So let's just assume it's like 9 o'clock. Like was 9:40. Give or take. I'm just saying 9 o'clock. I don't know what time. I don't even know what time mobster guys would actually start this.
Yeah, I just always seemed off to me that he was gonna go back and lay down.
Hey, Chris Falone. Hey, give us a heads up on what time you think that the mob guys start their day off, so we can get a rough estimate of what time it is. Because we always are confused at what time in the morning. Is it
Because it looked like Meadow was halfway through her day. Like Meadow
might be right because I don't feel like a college kid is calling their parents.
Who washes dishes in the morning? Yeah. Like it seemed like it was afternoon time.
It could be like noon. It might be like a noon. Night. You might be right, like 11, maybe noon-ish, somewhere down there. That probably is. But yeah. So Carmela does something really bold here. Carmela goes to see Furio at his home, but she doesn't park. She doesn't get out the car, but she goes without AJ. So she's making that big step to see what's up. But I would ask, if Furio was here, would she have cheated in this moment? Nah.
She just hadn't heard from him all day. She ain't know where he was. He usually pop up, something against it. Like she's worried something's wrong. I don't think that she would have necessarily went, but actually she would have went a long time ago. I want to be clear about that. Like this is just more so Furio not leaning into like and wanted to avoid the repercussions. Yeah, he could have made it happen a long time ago if he had been a little bit more assertive. So it ain't a Carmela thing with cheating. It's a him thing. Do he really want to do this or not? I don't think it was ever a question of was Carmela going to cheat. Yes,
she's always waiting for it to be
she was going to cheat with Father Phil. She was going to cheat with the contractor nigga. She was going to cheat with Furio. All they had to do was make it happen, and none of them could.
Great call. Yeah, you're right. You're right. I remember I kept saying in our early reviews, I was like, she's waiting so hard for like an accidental affair.
To do it.
Like, I remember she kissed him. It's like, oh my gosh, I've never done this before. Like you're waiting for, like Vic came back, he was gonna get them draws.
Yeah, Vic had them draws. Father Phil had them draws. Yeah. Furio got them draws. Like all of them, like all y'all gotta do is pull it off.
All they gotta do is pull it off. They gotta sell it. That's it.
Every time I see her sitting in that car with the grocery bags, I just start thinking in my head, like, I used to think that I wasn't fine enough. I used to think that I wasn't.
Why do you think that?
Because, bro, she also Keisha Cole love. Like she in love, bro. She's super in love, bro. Yeah. Like she sit here thinking like we ain't heard from Furio. I'm stopping by the crib because For real, for real.
Damn.
And it happens along this episode as well when she pulls up to the crib and peeks through the windows. Like, you do that shit when you're in love with somebody. Like, when you I care about this person and I ain't heard from them, I'm about to pull up. I got to see where they at. Like, that's some genuine love. So that's what makes it funny. That's what makes me think of that song because she just dazing off. Like, she's miserable. Yeah. Carmela's fucking miserable. And it's like, what the fuck, man? She really loves this
whole husband and family. That's crazy to me.
It is. She went to therapy with her. Anyways. Yeah, okay. So we get Johnny Sack, Seal, and Tony. They're opening a new restaurant, and Seal makes a joke about the painting. He said, "What is that, Carmine on the boat?" Just, obviously an old age joke. I was almost going to ask if Spike was on that boat too, but wow. Johnny Sack says that the 40%.
I'm Carmine. I'm Carmine in this.
He's the Carmine of the podcast.
That's good. That's a good one.
He get weak too. Like, he get weak.
It wasn't that good to laugh off mic and shit. Yeah, it wasn't. It wasn't that good, but it was.
You know how niggas really be like gassing it.
I'm weak.
Now, my cousin them used to do that. They used to gas a joke, bro. Get you so
That's
mad.
The worst kind. That's the worst one when niggas like, it wasn't that funny.
Oh man.
And niggas add the extra sauce on
a lot of fights was ready to happen.
Now look, that puts you in a position where you gotta be like, okay, and it make it look like you ain't got a sense of humor.
Yeah.
But all the know, you like, bro, it ain't that funny though, my nigga.
Now you look like a hater that, like, look at him, look at him. Like, yeah. All right, bro. That you ain't got no way to respond. I love you.
Mad.
That's the most difficult position to be in. Yeah, that's the most difficult position to be in when you ain't got when motherfuckers can be like, oh, he mad, like, bro. Like,
now you're getting mad because they're saying you're mad, and now they got you. Like,
it's a spiral.
But Johnny Sack says that the 40% is the new deal, but he says that's not on the HUD scheme and everything before, but everything moving forward. And again, Tony and Seal are not going for it. Did y'all think this was a okay ask? What you think about that 40% moving forward?
Hell nah.
Still no?
We never doing 40%, my nigga. Like, this ain't a 40%
That's
deal.
Carmine knows.
Deal, my bad.
No, go ahead.
I was just gonna say a 40% deal is one where, like, I might can concede that you had a little bit more to do with this than I did. However, me and you are equal partners and we work into it. Like, that's a 60-40 deal. But like, you are as important as I am to this. Like, this is not a 60-40 deal with Tony and them. If you just stumbled across it and knowing that I'm doing it, I can maybe give you 20 just based off who you are, but you ain't got nothing to do with this to be asking for 40%. 40% is for a nigga who also is putting in work with you. 40% ain't for a nigga that's catching it on the back end and being like, y'all doing that? And that's my man's. Oh, I need 40%. Like, you get killed behind shit like that, bro. That's coming me 40%.
Smart guy.
Spike can't even catch it.
Yeah, smart guy. Keep going. 40% on the back end.
You said something about catching it on the back end.
Catching it on the back.
Like, but nah, listen.
We silly, y'all. Don't take us serious, please.
Yeah, don't take us serious, man. We just grown ass kids.
It's a joke.
Yes. It's a joke.
It's yeah, that's a master. You might get a Master P deal. You might get that 80-20 split.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like, you might get that 80-20 split. And for real, y'all getting 20% for nothing. You sitting back and you get an extra 20% of this as, residual income. Yeah, like, why are we making this a big deal? Because and like you said earlier, your original question, no, this wasn't a fair ask. We was at 40. I went to Miami. I went to Miami. The whole reason for me to go to Miami was to get this shit settled. So for me to, like, spend money, resources, make this trip to go see Little Carmine, come back just for it to be at the same number, I'm upset that you even called me over here, bro. You could have told me this shit on the phone. Like, stop fucking playing with me.
No, that's facts, though.
And you saying it, and only Johnny Sack can do it this way. You're saying it in a way like you looking out. Like it's a good deal. There's nothing worse than when somebody playing you and they try to present it like it's going to work for you. Like a car salesman almost. Like, well, bro, if you know what you're doing, they will sell you some shit. Yeah, and like, bro, stop playing with me, man, before I smack fire out of you.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right about that. The car salesman definitely get that off.
Yeah, all these extra fees and shit that you shouldn't even be paying. They don't explain it through.
Like
most
sales, like you go to the mall or some shit nowadays. You're like, bro, I'm not paying this for that.
40% for my deal is crazy.
That's crazy. Something that you found out about just off the whim, like coming in and asking 40% for that is insane. It's almost like a nigga, I don't respect you as a human being. More or less a businessman. Like, come on with 40% of what you already got going on. That is an impossible thing to ask for, nigga.
Yeah. What you thought?
Balls on this guy.
Yeah. Crazy. Yeah, but I guess we get some internal thinking.
What you think about Seal's suit?
I liked it.
The red suit?
Yeah, I liked it. I actually Tony's was nice. He had that beige with that like kind of salmon color under it with the matching tie. I like that too. I mean, it's a subtle one. You don't get a lot of it, but definitely Seals definitely stand out. That real strong ruby.
That was Seal. I mean business suit. I'm putting on the red joint.
Yeah, that's the ruby joint right there.
That Tiger Woods Sunday red.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah,
trying to close out this tournament.
We came here to make this shit happen.
Yeah, man. Well, of course, Johnny Sack with the classic cigarette smoke. Nobody smokes cigarettes like Johnny Sack. I always wanted to look cool like that. I never looked cool like that when I did.
He almost make you want a cigarette.
No, he always do for me.
Someone that don't smoke cigarettes and then like Johnny Sack almost make you want.
Almost really like it's like let me see if I can just get a good puff and make the smoke do that. Like that's it. I just want to make that. I want to see what I look like with this.
He was cold with it.
Yeah, he was cold with it, man. Great actor. But we go to a quick scene. Carmela gets the news. Furio put his house up on the market. I put the scenes kind of together. Carmela goes to see the house and she looks through the window and it's empty.
That look when the girl told her that the house is on.
Bro, I made an edit a grip ago where I put the X-Files music on it.
It's an incredible job.
It is. That nigga got out of there, bro. He just made the call to the Bing at what, 2 in the morning, 4 in the morning?
4:30. 4:30 in the morning.
4:30 in the morning, man. You talk about getting your ducats in a row.
She looks physically sick. Like she just got physically sick from that news,
bro. She acts.
And if you've ever lived life, and ever gotten some bad news to that point where your stomach drop and you feel like you just want to throw up and that's all you want to do, that's the expression. I don't even know what else to do with my day. I don't even know what I was about to do.
Yeah, my whole thought process thrown off.
Yeah,
I can't even function correctly.
Because you gotta think, Carmela's not looking at it like this is bad news. This is a life-changing news. This is life-changing news. This changes my life. That shit's crazy.
Carmela out here moving like he hit it and quit it, bro. Like he hit it and never responded.
Happened.
You know what?
That's the way she's moving. Like he ghosted me. It's crazy.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Smart move by Furio.
Yeah,
because he's like, if he even puts it together that I may have tried to murk him.
Like, bro, I'm tripping, bro. Like, I was gonna push this nigga into a helicopter propeller. Like, I'm making lovey-dovey eyes at this nigga wife. It's my like, bro. I'm tripping, bro. Let me get up out of here. This American shit too much for me.
And then what if it's like, yo, Tony might put it together when that I actually tried to murk him. Like, what are you doing? Like, he might actually put it together that when he gets sober and he not hungover, he may or may not put that together. Like,
that's a good point.
You know what I mean? It's like no matter what.
Yeah, like he might. Who knows what he thinking when he wake up the next morning? Like,
bro,
this nigga trying to push me through a fucking helicopter.
Bro, I wouldn't that close.
Remembering that right?
Yeah, you know how it is.
Yeah, you wake up. How it be the next night after
the next year.
Like, wait, did that happen? Or am I tripping?
Like this nigga,
and you don't really know.
Yeah, yep. That's what I said, bro. You never know. It's like I can't even chance that, bro.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So we go to I'm trying to put this together. We get to man, Carmela is wild. Like we get to Tony, Carmela, AJ, they're going to Meadows' apartment and getting the stuff in this. I love how they do this. They do this subtle way of telling us the information. They just tell us like, can you believe that? I lost one of my best guys. Furio left a message to Bing and And then you can see it on her face that things begin to downward spiral. We go to the apartment. We meet Finn Detrolio.
That's Italian kid.
Italian kid. He looked like he'd probably be mixed, like Italian or something else. But we find out that
the last name.
Yeah. Oh, that's kind of racist.
Shout out to Finn, one of the most involved in one of the most
vowels, the vowels in the name. Excuse me.
Is that racist?
Nah,
no, it's not racist. I didn't say it because he looked a certain way.
If somebody say Keyshawn and say, "Oh, I'm going by how it sounds," it's a black guy. Is that racist?
Y'all just did the Leroy and Maurice and
I was just gonna say Keyshawn is definitely a black guy.
Yeah, but if somebody says that, is that racist? Like, no, what if he's a white? Like, is that racist? Like,
I don't know if it's racist because
I'm not saying if you take it personal, but is it racist?
Is what racist though? Is what a part of
if they say, "Oh, it must be a black guy."
If I say, "Hey, my man Keyshawn is coming by," and they're like, "Oh, he must be a black guy."
Yeah.
Yeah, that's racist because why are you even thinking about that?
Okay, so then you say Finn Detrolio, oh, he's Italian. That's an Italian guy.
Well, because the identifier was in his last name.
Okay, just like most the identifier.
Most Italians' last name ended in vowels, like they've said on the show.
But you're right, but you said most.
Yeah, but Keyshawn, that's a choice.
Most Keyshawns are probably black, right?
Hey, listen. Listen. While y'all discussing this, they calling both of y'all moolies and keeping it movies, so it don't matter.
They really calling us moolies. Yo, don't call that's anyway. All right.
No, but you have a choice on your first name. So when people say that and be like, "Oh, I bet some black woman made that his first name," that's racist versus, "Oh, he has an Italian lineage and it ends in a vowel, so I know he's Italian." Like nobody selected that.
So last names work differently than first.
Yes. Absolutely.
Fair enough. I like that. You came out of the trenches. I thought I had you in the corner, but you
had me in the first corner.
You got out of there, real Call of Duty style, boy. You got out of there and start spraying on everybody. That was good, Spike.
I do this, man.
Yeah, you did for sure. Carmela immediately begins to have a hard on. She says, "You always leave the door open like this." Here we go. Here we go.
This is one of those things like you married, Mo. I know you know this. It's like when you're in a relationship or you like with a girl and like she get mad at one thing, nothing can be right. Like everything
cancel everything.
Yeah, like why you gonna pour my water like that? Like why would you do that? Like
that's triggering. Yeah, it's so triggering because it's like, oh, it's just a downhill. Like you just be like, bro, okay,
it's gonna be one of those things where you can't get nothing right for the rest of the day.
Yeah, so you just get out of the way, please. Just don't even ask me like, what do you want me to do? Like, what do you want me to do? Because I don't.
Feel they get mad when you say that,
bro. Nothing. Oh my God.
Then just get out of the way. Whatever. If it's too much, just don't worry about it.
Okay. You cannot win. They do a great job of putting you in a position to not be able to win at all. Like you can't. It's damn if you do, damn if you don't. They do that really well.
Great thing is we don't have to pigeonhole black women in this. It's all women. This is all.
This is an all woman thing. Yeah, absolutely. Y'all just got that guy. Y'all great. Y'all kill it like that. Man. But Tony comes through, and I spoke about this trait before. When Tony took Meadow in season 1 on the college episode, take her out to dinner. Everything. The few times that he came to her college, I think was season 3, and even now, Tony. I said he has this charm about him when he's doing these kind of civilian things. He works really well in this, and I love seeing Tony in his element. If I to be honest, I love he's getting it off, and he's just like, Finn was like, "Oh, I'll protect her. I'll take care of her." And he was just like, "Remind me to, about a loose feeling I got later, So Tony's in a good mood, and AJ's just looking around, whatever. And we find out
why is he even there, bro? Why is AJ there?
I mean, that's his sister. You know what I mean? I guess it's a family. Like you're inviting my family, you're inviting your family over for a dinner.
Dinner. Go play with your friends. Stay at home and play PlayStation or whatever it is you like.
I don't know if it's an adult dinner. I think it's a family, kind of like we're inviting her family over type of thing.
Of age. It's people of age, college and up. We don't need AJ here, bro.
He's a junior, so he's not like that. Like if he's a middle schooler, it's different. Like he's like a junior.
If I was AJ, I wouldn't even want it to be there.
He probably didn't want to be there.
So that's what I'm saying. So I'm not coming. Like there would have been oh, we're going to Meadows to the city for dinner. Okay, cool. I'll holler at y'all. I'm gonna order pizza. Me and such gonna study or play video games. I'm not going to this.
Yeah.
So yeah, why AJ was there was stupid.
You might got a point. I don't think he needed to be there. I guess we had to go back to like how she invited them. You know, having the parents or whatnot. But yeah, Tony has a charm.
I think it was weird for Meadow to have a male roommate. Y'all been tripping about it?
I was gonna wait until we got to that part.
Oh man, bro, that part is so funny. No, it did come in. It did come here.
It came in with Carmelo, but not with Tony came. That's the funniest part of the episode to me.
Well, Tony.
The assumption that Tony made was hilarious.
That is what makes it.
We can get to it when we get there.
Yeah. But what's an interesting thing? I don't know how intentional they were, the Sopranos crew, but like Finn is technically from Japan because of obviously how long he lived there. And I found it interesting because AJ was making those jokes last episode, you know, kind of, and so he said maybe I'm not Italian, and he made kind of, you know, those kind of racial jokes about, you know, Asian, Japan, whatever. Like,
rice.
So I thought it was just an interesting thing. I don't think it was that intentional.
Technically from Japan. Where'd you get that?
He was born and raised there.
His dad was a surgeon, not a surgeon, but a sailor.
Surgeon, yeah. Okay, I got
you. So yeah. I mean, you know. So I thought that was just kind of,
and that helps too. Like I think I totally missed that, but that being added to the Finn jacket of what we figure out later in the other episodes, like how he processes dealing with Italian American culture versus growing up an Italian American. Like that, now that makes a lot more sense.
See, you're right. See, I didn't even catch that.
He never really got it, and I always wondered why, because he's Italian, I thought.
Yeah.
But now that you guys are saying that, it makes a lot more sense how he acts towards Tony and the family and Meadow and shit. So yeah, that was a good piece of writing right there.
Yeah, you're right. I didn't even catch that, bro. I just thought he was just some square dude. But now as you say that, tying it back to that, that's great. Yeah, that works. We go to another scene real quick. Little Paulie and the other hoods, they ruined the restaurant that Carmine was invested in. I don't think there's much to add there.
Why is Little Paulie still doing this type of grunt work, bro?
I don't know. I don't think Little Paulie's made, bro. I think he's like in the Christopher position. Bullshit. Like what Christopher was not made yet. Yeah, he is. But I mean, anyways, but they spray paint a penis on the painting. It's like, what are we doing? Now we'll go back to, you know, what are we doing?
Them the type of people that you send to do shit like that.
You need that ignorance. You need that level of ignorance.
Nah, I'm not saying you do it intentionally, but if you sent on missions to do shit like that, then chances are your IQ and your intelligence level is to the point where you find it amusing to draw penis on paintings.
Bingo.
True. We go to the family dinner. We're back at Meadows' apartment with the roommates and Carm again with the heart on, saying just watch out for all the accidents when talking about the skiing, because Meadows getting ready to go to a ski trip with Finn in Canada. The other roommate we find out is a Spanish princess. Shouts out to Gloria Trillo. AJ does a report on what his teacher calls a gay book. And AJ didn't know there were gay people back then. But using choice words that we're not going to say here. It's never going to come out. It's never going to come out of this show. But Tony says, no.
Yo, the assumption is fucking crazy.
Like, bro, assuming, like, we're in a different era, so you don't just assume immediately. You like, bro, I don't know. But like in this era, like 2002, 2003, just like automatically assuming because this is Meadows' roommate, he's gay. Because that's the only logic of why a male to live with my daughter.
I loved his reaction. Like he kind of made a face like, oh, I'm not
she
gay.
Knew immediately. Like, she knew. He's like, no offense. And he was like, oh no, I'm not gay. And then Tony looks at her. She puts it together quickly, like, because she understands Tony's from that elk. He's very old school, Janice. Like, she understands, like, wait a minute, what are we doing here? He lives here, you don't, bro. You know, so but that was hilarious. Just
as a father, though, like you could see that.
Yeah.
Right. Like
yeah, you'll definitely put that. Think that, like, oh, okay.
Because the first thing that I'm gonna be like, well, who is this dude then? Like, why are you here, my nigga? Like,
yeah.
What like? Yeah.
Hey, this nigga Tony said, because I think another part that makes it so funny is you don't necessarily see Tony be genuinely nice a ton.
Mm-hmm.
Like, genuinely go out of his way to make sure that I protect your feelings, and that what I say or what somebody who represents me says doesn't make you feel a certain way. That doesn't happen a lot. Like, he says what he says, and people do what they do, and you take it how you take it.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that this nigga said no offense and shrugged his shoulder, and nigga said, I'm not gay. Nigga said,
bro,
not?
like the Martin.
That's just fucking hilarious, bro.
Tying it back to the Martin scene when they was on a little retreat doing therapy. The two dudes that was together, it's like, hey, bro, I'm not gay. I'm not gay either.
Yeah,
like, bro, it was so stupid.
I will say this. And Mo, you might. I would, if I was a betting man, which I am. But if I was a betting man, I would have said you would have been the first person to bring this up. And what Carmela is saying is very. I've heard people say that in today's era.
Okay. What part?
Certain agendas being pushed.
Oh, I mean, yeah, that was definitely like, you know, the freaking internet. Like, you know, they have these forward. Absolutely. Yeah.
It was just funny because I didn't.
It's just so far back then, though.
You know, I was still young, so I wasn't even involved in conversations like that. People's agendas and all this other shit. What the
purposes?
What people are. Yeah, exactly. So the fact that you hear now that you have more access to information, and you hear people have issues with social issues and whatever the case is, and there's another side that says this is all being planted and this is a social agenda. Carmela saying that reminded me of stuff that you hear today in 2024.
Oh yeah. Sopranos is always ahead of the curve with certain things. That's why you got all these meme pages that work so fluidly in this era, because it's like they always had something that still connects with today's society. There's a corner of the world that feels that way and agrees. There's a corner of the world that
To quote Carmela, this gay nonsense that they're teaching.
Yeah.
That's a direct quote from Carmela.
That's a direct quote from Carmela Soprano. Yes.
Was she coming off as ignorant to y'all?
So yeah, Carmela? So Carmela tries to battle with everyone's information about the book, if it's gay or not. But this burns me up when people do this, because I've been this person, and then when I got shut down, I realized I'll never be this person again. When you try to battle information with people basing it off of a movie, like she does that. Well, that's not how they did it in the movie. This always shows Carmela's ignorance and her unculturedness. She's not. Meadow was in her bag when she was telling her this is what it is. You don't know, Ma. You really don't know what you're talking about. And she's so heartbroken over Furio. She's just there to argue regardless. And it's like, you're trying to compare. We're telling you what the book says, and we're going into the history and the lineage. And actually, it is that, what we've been saying. But you're trying to battle with me because you basing it on a film. Like, yeah, she definitely.
So is Meadow wrong for calling her mom out right there in front of people?
No, I think because she was doing it. She was doing it like in a
right there. As the young folks say right now, as the young people say, like she kind of read her for filth right there. Like
she kind of did what?
Actually, read her for filth.
Read her for filth.
Yeah.
Who read her for filth?
Let you Meadow.
Oh, read her for filth. Okay. Yeah.
Yes. Like you're really wrong right here, and based off the information that I have, I'm about to put you on the spot for being really wrong right here. Like, did Meadow as a daughter was that a good move by her to do that in front of her friends, knowing that her mom would be embarrassed by that? That's what I'm asking.
It wasn't a good move as a daughter, but I think what Meadow was trying to do was, Ma, because she wasn't doing it aggressively. Let me gently give you the information, Ma, so you can save yourself from sounding ignorant.
Do like that? Like, why you got to do me like that in front of these people?
Well, because she wants things to go a certain way, and it's like, Ma, you're sounding ignorant. Let me just jump in here and give you this information, so maybe you'll shut it down. Like, oh, okay, I didn't know that. But Carmela was in such a puss that it didn't matter. I really genuinely think Meadow was trying to, like, Ma, well, they do say this and that. She was trying to keep it cool. So I don't think she was trying to make her mom look bad. I think she was trying to keep her from looking ignorant amongst her other college buddies, that when she later talks about, well, of course you don't have these type of kids here when they have this type of bank account, these type of reputation. So I think she was trying to save face in a way, was like, Ma, look, let me jump in here. This is this, blah, blah, blah. So I don't think she was trying to, but I wouldn't have done that.
Carmella 100% was the reason why I went to that level. 100%. The way she was, the way her attitude and the way she approached it like that. It's almost like if somebody was trying to tell you at the table, the conversation was 1 + 1 = 3. Like a sane, rational person is not going to spend much time arguing with that with somebody. You're grown. I'm not about to sit here and argue with your grown ass that 1 + 1 = 3. But if you say it a certain way to insult my intelligence, now I'm about to go in like, hold on, actually, this is this, and this. And I think that's what Meadow was feeling like. Hold on, man, you not only are you wrong, but you're dismissing why we're right. Like now you loud and wrong, and that's what's really upset me. So I think that's part of the reason. However,
my mama. And my mama, and I got to talk to these people when you leave. And now my mom was a stupid mom. So now I got to make sure that I let you know in front of people, like I'm not letting my mom be the stupid mom.
But I was just about to say, I will say, I ain't doing that. I'm not doing moms like that.
No, I'm just gonna have to let that ride.
You know what I'm saying? I'm about to let it ride. Like, matter of fact, you reach a point where you like, she responsible for her own thoughts. Like, that's what mom, I love her. Like, I'm not about to sit here and explain anything she was saying. If y'all want to think she wrong, she wrong. But I'm not about to dog her in front of y'all.
And look, on top of that, Rich, y'all want to think she wrong. And anything that y'all got to say to me after this, I'm going to stand on it for her, because that's Mom Dukes.
Yeah, that's Mom.
Yeah, like I'm not reading her like in front of people. Like, no, I just can't do that. I let moms, and I don't know if this is good or bad, but I'm gonna let moms be wrong before I call her out in front of people and be like, "Well, Mom, actually, you're wrong."
Yeah, because Mom's still getting the conversation.
Exactly.
She just ain't getting in front of them
about it. Yeah, me and her gonna talk about it. And if you got something to say about her after this, I'm going to defend her, or I'm going to offer a perspective where you can't put her in such a bad light, but at the table, like giving her the like, well, actually, Mom, like I'm never well, actually, my mom. I'm never doing it.
She had a different understanding of what she thought they were, and that's where the misstep was in that regard.
Who did?
Meadow. She had a different. She just had a different.
But that's just because Carmella was mad though, and that's another reason why I wouldn't. Well, actually, my mom. You'll never know what she's going through, bro.
No. Y'all right. Like that's just regardless. But I think I'm just saying the misstep from Meadow's point, even though she was right, is you don't. Well, actually, your mom, but you misunderstood where we were because you was just here earlier or a day or something, and you coming up when we were talking about men, talking about them saying they love you. So I'm thinking, okay, we're like that. Because all of us, no matter men or women, you go through that stage where there's that transition where it's like, I don't shine shoes anymore, Ma. Where you now are like, your mom has to start looking at you like a man. And there's that, I'm like, so, okay, there's the reverence and respect, but I'm an adult now. And there's that kind of the rough patch that you go through. And I think Meadow was in that moment where she thought it was already there. And this is a moment where she made that misstep. So y'all right. Like, you don't do moms like that, no doubt. But I think she had a different interpretation of where their relationship was in her maturation.
And I think one of the biggest things before we move on to the next topic is, I'm sure all three of us, I know Spike and myself feel this way, and I'm sure you do the same, though. If you're going to come with that strong of an opinion, you didn't even do all the research to back up your ignorant thought. You didn't even read the book. You basing all this, like you said, Mo, you basing all this off a movie. Like, don't get so involved in this conversation where you haven't even looked at all the material. Look at all the information first before you comment. Because now you sound crazy. But still, not doing that to moms, man.
No doubt. Carmella's a shortcutter. She's a shortcutter.
She is, though. But as my mom's, I got to respect that.
Yeah, as my mom's, that's right. No doubt.
I'm holding that down. That's Mom Dukes.
Yeah, you got to. It's just like, I'll talk to you later.
Everything else later.
It's facts. Carmine sees the restaurant. Then we go to the next thing. Silvio tries to tell Paulie, hey, like, yo, it would help if you take some accountability. And basically, Sil tells him, like, you're good for nothing. You don't bring money in. You don't take accountability for anything. And Albert is bringing in more than you, being a parakeet and all. Paulie starts blaming Seal, says, it's your fault. It all started with the Russian, obviously referencing Pine Barrens of season 3. And then he says that nobody knows what the future holds, my friend. And I think this is foreshadowing, but not for what this episode is or what he thought it was. I think it's a deeper foreshadowing, like series foreshadowing. Anything y'all want to add to this scene, this kind of back and forth between Seal and Paulie?
Seal was kind of playing an unfavorable position though when he was like, people are questioning your loyalty. If I'm looking at you and I'm hearing you say that, I know that Tony's your man, you number 2. I automatically think that you're talking about Tony. So now I think the conversations are being had about me that I wasn't privy to, and I feel like I should be privy to because I'm that experienced in this. Like I am Paulie Walnuts. I ain't just some scrub off the streets. Like I've been doing this for a long time. So if niggas are feeling this way about me, then I deserve the right to know. So I got him in that sense. So I didn't like that Seal presented that to him, but didn't want to go into further details about it. When you a nigga like Paulie, you want to know what you mean? What are y'all talking about? Even though he's right, even though we've seen the behind the scenes shit, him talking to Johnny Sack and him being out of pocket, I would still like to know when niggas are talking about me. And I think that's one of the biggest takeaways that I had from this scene. And my problem with Seal in this is him letting him know, like, certain people are saying, well, like, who are those people? And we talked about this more on Another Week in the Books. Like if I want to know the gist of the conversation. I don't want to be wondering, well, who said what and how did this happen? Like, if you're going to tell me this, give me all the details, not half of them. So I feel
I thought it was in character with Seal. I think that was right on brand for Seal. Seal's not going to tell you too much. He's not getting. And this is the second time this season, maybe even the entire series, that we've seen him go off the record. He leads it with, I probably shouldn't be telling you this. You know what I mean? So it's on brand for Seal to just kind of give you the bare minimum. Even Paulie said it, like, don't give me that smart alecky shit. Like, I know how you get down. I know how you communicate, bro. Don't do that to me because I'm Paulie
Wormy cocksucker. You know that?
But it just shows those real conversation, and there is a level of it kind of, it's a reminder that everything's business 100% of the day, right? There's also moments where, hey, we still friends. I've known you for a while. I respect you as a person, respect you as a friend. We're having a friend moment right now. Because there's no way you can have those conversations if you're in business mode. Like, you're not talking to me at the number 2 like that. But it just shows that fine line between, hey, I'm giving you this grace because I know you go back well enough to deserve it. You know what I mean? And I'm going to risk myself by speaking off the record by bringing this up.
Yeah, he cares about Paulie, like, because he that's kind of low key going against Tony. So because I care about you, Paulie, for real. So I like that. That was a great pull on both y'all ends. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I think I'm gonna leave it there. I'm gonna tie a few of these scenes together because they're kind of straightforward. Johnny Sack and Carmine meet, and Carmine says, call the union. Carmela and Ro meet, and basically she tells her she's heartbroken. And then we get the scene with the Golden Girls. Anything y'all want to add between the Johnny Sack Carmine meeting, Carmela and Ro meeting, or the Golden Girls?
You know how bad it's got to be for you to say, I'm going to lose money on this to prove my point? Like, Carmine calling the union to shut down the Esplanade to stop all money flow. Like, at this point, it's like, damn, if you don't care about your bread, then what the fuck do you care about? That's the only thing that I want to, like, really point out.
For me, it would be Ro. Like, listen, you got out of this clean. Like, really, you right here crying and doing all of these things, and you really made it out of this situation the best way that you could. Nothing ever happened. Tony shouldn't go looking for him. He shouldn't come looking for Tony. Like, with the level of like that you had for this dude and he had for you, and nothing to ever happen, Like you should feel like you came out as a winner in this situation. So I like the role pointing that out to Carmella, and then Carmella just totally not understanding it and running off to the bathroom.
Yeah.
And again, with the Tony, excuse me, with the Paulie situation, him picking up the information that she had the money under her mattress was hilarious.
Only scene we needed.
Did y'all I think Paulie should have paid. I think Paulie should have paid for everybody dinner.
Nah.
Or lunch.
Nah, this lines up with Paulie. Nah. No, I don't like y'all. Like, I don't like you. Like, he don't
fuck with y'all. Yeah, y'all don't even fuck with my moms.
And Paulie out here looking,
beg y'all to fuck with my moms.
For real. And Paulie out here looking crazy. Like, you eating dinner with the old ladies. Where's your envelope, my nigga? Like, where's the envelope, bro?
He working on it, my nigga.
Oh, I mean, well, yeah, now you just got lucky, bro. Like, you got, but look, like, they telling you Albert brought in more than you, and we know Albert ain't, he ain't all the way there like that. So what does that say about
that person? I'll take that personally.
What?
Albert's making more than me. I'm taking that person.
That's what I'm saying. Then you try to ride. Oh, I've been here. He been knowing Tony longer than you. Don't
Albert spots.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, bro. It's like you sitting there like, bro, what are you good for? Like you over here, you eating dinner with old ladies acting like you're trying to get respect with the Golden Girls, bro. Like, Paulie, you a clown, bro. What are you doing? And then let's go back to the Carmella role. Like, again, you're going to the bathroom throwing up. Like, he gave you some good D, got you dickmatized, or like y'all actually had like some like physical connection, or have some like long up until 5 a.m. phone call conversation. Nigga, y'all ain't had nothing. Nothing. Bro, I'm sorry. This does not work. It doesn't work, Chase. I'm sorry. It doesn't work. And let me say this too. I'm not mad that it happened, but it doesn't work for this reason. Because we're trying to exercise a certain complexity of the human experience, and I understand there's this teetering concept and idea, but it doesn't work because y'all, and I'm saying it here before we finish up the episode, y'all did not do the Furio Jagunta, if I'm saying it correctly. Y'all didn't do the character justice, bro. Y'all brought this man in, he was a menace, and then y'all just made this man soft, super soft. Like, ever since he had that one episode slapping up, slapping up niggas in the parlor, getting that money, since Chris couldn't do it, y'all have softened him up over and over and over. And y'all wasted a character like a Furio on a love interest that nothing ever happened. That man should have been ducking bullets from Tony or Tony sending little Paulie, sending people at him where he goes out in a blaze of glory. Like, man, come on, bro. Y'all wasted the Furio character just to create this romantic thing. What? Because he's from Naples? Like, come on, bro. Yeah, it didn't work for Furio. It worked for Carmella. Like, I'll give it Carmella. It works because it's this constant. I want to cheat. I may be free one day. Sure, it does not work for Furio though. Like, this man supposed to be a menace. Tony went over there and had to negotiate with a woman boss in Naples to bring him over because he's like, oh, I need that nigga. This man jumping on top of wheelchairs, jumping over the boss because he thinking firecrackers are bullets and commendatory. I gotta have him. I don't care. We need to negotiate, make it happen. Then you bring him over here, he becomes soft. What does he do? He slap up the parlor, knock a hat off a doctor, and that's the end of it. Come on, bro.
He did the shit for Artie too, right?
I mean, he does, but we don't get anything though. Like, he does that.
They put the Russian in the little display for Janice.
Yeah, but all of that, it just feels. I'm sorry, it falls flat to me.
It wasn't worth the Furio.
It wasn't. You see what I'm saying?
Worth the character.
So here's how you fix that. Okay. Since we're having a Furio conversation, and this would have been much better television and very compelling. You have the affair happen. Affair. We made the joke referencing the Jay-Z lyric, man. Have an affair, act like an adult for once. Affairs happen.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, regardless of how you feel about them, whatever, they do happen. So to see a mob boss and his wife involved with an affair after he's been stepping out, yeah, the idea of flirting with it is one thing, but let's actually do it. Let's actually bring this some meaning, because now there's so many things you can have conversations about here. Like, do you tell, if you're Furio, my pup right here, man. If you Furio, or excuse me, if you Tony, do you tell it? Do you bring that to the table? Do you bring that to the family? because now you got to expose yourself and leave yourself open to the idea that your wife is stepping out of you, the boss.
Yeah.
So do you handle it by yourself? If you handle it by yourself and you kill Furio, that's a second body along with Ralph that's just up and missing. Now people really pointing fingers at you and figuring out what the fuck is going on. First Ralph gone, now Furio gone.
Yeah.
What the fuck is good here? Like there's so many different angles and alleys you can like write and figure out how to actually wrap up this storyline. And I think one of them, sure, we knew it was going to end with one of them having to go, like whether the character's going, whatever, but I would have loved it if one of them had to actually go. And I think how they would have played out, what Tony process would have been like, what his effect would have been. Like we see a little bit of, even when Tony finds out about all of this, small spoiler, even when Tony finds out about all this, we never get to sit with Tony and how he really feels about that. Emotionally, as a husband, as a man. So I think if you actually let that go through, I guess the only reason why they didn't is because maybe they were afraid that viewers will look at Tony in a different light versus the big macho guy, even though I don't think that would have happened.
I think we already passed that with the Ralph thing, though. Anything before whoever did this, we would have looked at Tony that way. I think as far as after the Ralph thing, I think that's where they begin to say, okay, because they definitely pulled at people's heartstrings. It's like, dang, bro, Ralph's son is in a hospital. So we knew Ralph was, a piece of dirt. But I think at that point, that's where viewers probably started to be like, okay, I don't know, bro. Tony, I still like him, but, I think it would have been slick if they did like almost like college episode where we would have had an A plot, Furio's in Naples, and he's making moves, and we're with Furio the whole episode in Naples, kind of, going there and traveling, and then out of nowhere, right towards the end, Tony sneaks up and pops up on him and maybe chokes him out like he did Febby in the college episode, where it's like, dang, Tony actually snuck in Naples, found a way to get, it may not be realistic, but some kind of way, like he would have caught this nigga slipping somewhere. You know what I mean? Because even the actor that plays Furio, I can't remember his name right now, but like he even said like he maybe one day I'll play the clip, but he had said this is how he felt Furio's ending should have been. And he had a pretty good concept of what he thought it should have been. But yeah, they dropped the ball on it for me. And I'm not going to. I mean, the show's still legendary, but you just dropped the ball. And then all of the Furio gangster moments, we get one moment, and then we're supposed to just lean on, oh, he did this. That's it. Give me $3,000. Give me this. Give me that. Whatever. Like, I don't know. They didn't. Furio was supposed to be a menace, and he wasn't that to me. I don't care how many like little cut scenes we get with him. It wasn't quite that. He was a softie to me.
Yeah, I agree with both of you guys. He should have been a menace. There should have been more pertaining to this storyline than, oh, he just up and left one day.
Yeah.
Like the build up and the thing that we were expecting from Furio should have been like, oh shit, this nigga fucking Tony wife. And we should have had a couple of episodes to process that and for that to be dealt with, whether it be through the family, through Tony, like you said, embarrassed to tell people about it so he had to do it himself, or telling people about it and look how he wronged me, look who gonna ride for me. Yeah, that definitely should have been a storyline for at least 3, 4, 5 episodes, especially with the build up that we got from this shit. Like they led us down this long trail of, oh man, what's going to happen, what happens, and then this nigga just up and disappear one episode, and we never see him again. You're like that was not worth it for me.
And then think about how weak it's gonna make the argument next week. It's gonna work when we get there. It's gonna work as far as the reaction that Tony will have, but it still makes it weak as a viewer. It's like,
Well, that's the thing. If it actually goes down, that whole scene is gonna happen.
Like you said, Tony can get mad from that, but even with that, like you said, it makes it weak in the sense of, yeah, I can get mad about that, but like, who gives a fuck that y'all had a crush with it? I don't give a fuck,
bro. That's what I'm saying.
You had a crush on this dude that was driving me around. Fuck him.
There's no merit.
Naples now.
There's no merit, bro. Golly. Anyway, so I'm sorry, y'all. Sopranos, you know what I'm saying? Greatest show in my opinion. I know they have it at number 2, but nonetheless, the Furio storyline is definitely a wasted storyline. Maybe we'll do a Back of a Bing episode where we'll talk about more about the Furio character, and maybe I got some ideas for rewrites, brother. So I'm gonna definitely challenge both of y'all writing y'all pen as far as like, okay, how would you rewrite this character start to finish? So y'all just be prepared for that. That's something I've heard podcasts do that, and that's something I want to do. So we definitely have some character rewrites, but y'all just stay tuned in. Go check out the other 3 Back of the Being episodes though. Well, I'm kind of put a few scenes together here. We got the construction site, and Tony's site gets shut down because Carmine, because of what they did at the Carmine spot. Eugene pulls up on the juror to do a threat for Junior's case. Meadow calls Carmela. Anything y'all want to add to these 3 scenes?
No,
not really.
I did think it was funny though. The juror.
I thought it was funny that they used Eugene.
Yeah,
I thought it would be Bobby.
I wonder what that was. I mean, maybe
I think that was strategical. I think that was height thing. They wanted somebody to look down on him, put the hand on the shoulder. No, those are all like intimidating factors. Like when you read, not necessarily, it's not in 48 Laws of Power, but books like that, like Art of War and stuff, they're just these little small things that, from a negotiation standpoint, you're supposed to do.
But why couldn't they use Bobby?
I really thought it would have been Bobby.
Because Bobby's in the courtroom every single day. I think that it would have been easy for him to look and say, hey, on the side, before we even go out here, hey, big dude's here. He came to me, pressed me on some shit, like, and remove Bobby from that. Then you got a whole big mess. I think it would have just been one of those things like, look, like, and it's more intimidating. Mm-hmm. It ain't just Bobby, bro. We all over the place. Mm-hmm. We all over the place, bro. You ain't ever seen me before, but I want you to know I'm a part of this. And what you're doing is very noble, because it's be ashamed if that shit went left.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Eugene. The only thing I would say about it is like, Eugene, when he came and popped up, it's like his voice cracked. He was like, "Hey, how you doing?" Like, I don't know if y'all noticed that. Sorry, it's a little nitpick, but I was just like, that was kind of weird. I don't know if it was an active choice. Yeah, that was kind of like you honking the horn on the one that. Honking the horn, crazy, But I mean, Eugene get to it. Like, we'll find out later. Like, no, Eugene ain't. But I thought it was funny when like the guy was like, "Hey, like, I don't know you, nigga." But yeah, he said, "I wouldn't know you do the right thing." So that was a great pull. I would say the construction site, whatever. That's just retaliation. But here's where we get the what?
Hated Carmela crying in the bathroom.
God, who gives a damn, bro?
Hated this.
I'm sorry, y'all can say we insensitive. Y'all can say we don't get the emotional complete. Y'all can say whatever y'all want. It's like the reality of the situation is I had nothing. Like that. I don't care how you want to put it, how creative you want to get around it. This is emotional tied or whatever. Y'all had nothing. Nothing ever happened. Y'all didn't touch hands. Y'all wasn't hugging. Y'all wasn't kissing. Y'all didn't have a date. Y'all didn't eat dinner. Y'all didn't do anything. You brought your son around. Nothing happened. So I'm bypassing any Carmela emotional moments at this point. Like, I don't care.
To that point, on the flip side, I would have cared a lot if they actually did something. It just made more sense.
Yeah. It could have been one time, and they were trying to set it up again, and they couldn't quite do it. I'm like, oh damn, that's it. But like,
I would have felt for her more.
I would have felt for her more.
Seeing what she crying, you're right.
Yeah. Because
being that nothing ever happened, and you right here crying and like, bro, bitch, get out of here.
It ain't even like y'all had some like long romantic kiss and y'all were about to set up a play and y'all couldn't do it because Tony was always around. Y'all didn't even, nothing happened. What was that off of? Obsessed? Nothing happened.
Imagine your man's coming to tell you this shit. You look at it like, what the fuck? Y'all ain't do nothing, bro. And you on this? Like, bro, what the fuck is you on?
I mean, Ro was a good friend.
Even with the difference of Carmela, that's the thing though, Mo. Carmela telling Ro about it, that's a woman's perspective. Mm-hmm. I wish that we had Furio telling another man about this and us getting that conversation.
Well, we did get that. His uncle in Naples when he went to his dad's funeral.
But that was beforehand. That was even beforehand like that. It wasn't even that serious thing.
Well, it wasn't quite to this.
Even when they got back, it was more like, oh, I'm really looking at her now. We're going on Home Depot days, so whatever it may be. I just wish there was somebody in the world of gangster like Soprano. This is the family, not his uncle who was all the way across seas. Someone who was right there to be like, bro, what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah.
You trying to sleep with the boss's wife? Y'all sharing googly eyes? Like, are you crazy, my nigga? I wish we had that conversation with Furio and someone else. Like, I wish they had developed Benny more in this situation where he was able to have that conversation with him. Maybe
you know what? Like, I wish if Artie Bucco wasn't as close to Tony.
That's what I was. Yeah. That's what I was looking for. I wish that Artie Bucco could have talked to Furio and been like, "Man, you are fucking tripping, bro."
Hey, Tony, that's Tony. You know, hey, he could be a little bit, you know, get the hedge. He could be out there, you know.
I just wish that there was somebody in this world that could have talked to Furio and help us and gave the perspective that we see as fans. And that never happened.
Yeah, like what if he like had a conversation with like a Janice that obviously we never see. You know what I mean? It could have been something where he thought it was all culture. Yeah, I know, but how much more interesting would that have been? Like where it's like he thinks we got Solace, we're good.
Ralph would have been a good person.
Anybody even if nothing happened.
If Furio and Ralph had some type of connection and this conversation was had between them, that would have been amazing.
Yep.
That would have been amazing.
Yep. He could have talked to Vito, even Vito. Like anybody, just talk to another man about it so we could see how things, you know, it plays out. Yes. Yeah, because they talked to but yeah, we get the phone call. Meadow calls Carmella, and Meadow challenges Carmella's directions about how she's like, Meadow, I know how to get there, you know,
I get to the city, Meadow.
Which is just, again, it's just that difference where, you know, Meadow's at that point where, you know, now all of a sudden you're smarter than your parents. You know, everybody kind of go through that weird phase.
Oh, I do this on a more frequent basis than you. Stop playing. Like, and I hate this part of Carmella's character where she's like so defensive about everything.
Mm-hmm.
Like Meadow should be able to tell her, no, I go to school in the city now. Here's a better route to take. Why are you being offensive about this?
Mm-hmm. Because she know Meadow's like already further along than Carmella ever went. You know what I mean? Few other scenes, facts. But the bada bing. So Tony says no retaliation to the retaliation. Great advice. Carmella and Meadow meet, and this scene really speaks to the difference in generations and also the growth of the child becoming an adult. Really nasty dinner. Anything y'all want to add to this scene, bro? Goodness
you think
gracious.
It was nasty because of Carmella or because of Meadow?
I'm sorry, I gotta go. This one's Carmella though. The first one was Meadow. This one's Carmella though, because things have progressed for her. She has full, like, she's had time to process feelings more, and she's now throwing up over this. And now it's like, dude, this is your daughter. She like, you know how hard it is for women to bond, especially mother-daughter. That is a very hard relationship to keep mended, because they tend to bump heads a lot more than like men and their sons. And so she actually reached out because she cares about you. She wants to be around you. And like you're blowing it, bro. Like you're really jeopardizing the relationship. I gotta put that on Carmella, because and I do think that Meadow kind of went a little crazy with a certain statement where she was just like, you know,
dropping out.
Yeah, like, it's not my fault, basically. Like, you dropped out, like, you're a big dummy. You know what I mean? Like, she kind of went crazy on that at some point, which I don't know where she got this kind of boldness from. But I would say Carmella. What say y'all?
Yeah, Carmella. She was doing a lot. And you could tell a lot of it had to do with how she felt about Furio. And like she was doing a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a little bit of balance. Like Carmella initiated. Meadow could have chosen to be the bigger one and just be like, you know what, you bugging. I don't know what's going on, but something going on. But it really ended up turning into low blows and just that tricky relationship, like you said, Mo, between mother and daughter. So it was just an uncomfortable conversation to see. But it's also very fascinating because there is that moment when you transition from mom's little baby to I'm a grown woman. Like, I'm a grown man, or whatever the case is, and I need to be respected as such or treated as such. Like, I'm not, like, the fact that you even question and defend and stand, like, get the fuck out of here, bro. Like, let's stop. Like, you've been young before, and I think that's part of the hang up of kids or younger generations. think sometimes they look at their parents and be like, "You've been my age before. You know what time it is. Like, give me the respect." Especially somebody like Meadow. Like, I'm a good child. I'm a good person. Like, I've done things right.
Yeah, I did
like,
that.
Give me the respect that I've earned to go out here and live my life. But as we said it before, Carmela does see Meadow and she is just jealous of her because everything that all these opportunities that you get to experience, I wish I was in that place as well.
Give me some damn credit, Dad. Shouts out to Roscoe Jenkins. For real. Paulie shows up to Carmine's housekeeper's daughter's celebration, and we find out that it's Paulie's third cousin. Paulie makes the introduction to Carmine. Carmine says, "Your father
was." What's your name again?
Yeah.
What's your name again, bro?
When's your father ran over by a trolley, right?
Yeah, man.
So this was such a good payoff to see Paulie get dogged like this. It was a good payoff for me. I was so glad to see this. This is like, I'm so happy at your demise right here because he came in all player. He was ready. He got the rings on. He got the olive suit on. Like like Paulie is feeling good. Hey, he coming in kissing Carmine, everything. Like this nigga thought he was about to be down with New York, bro. Like this nigga heard Ja Rule, nigga thought he was like, this nigga thought he was New York for real, bro. Nah, bro, it ain't going down. And Carmine's looking at him like, bro, who are you? And he's like, John, who? Johnny Sack?
No clue. I have no clue who you are, bro. That's one of that's one of the most insane things. Like, especially if it's somebody that you think you've been having conversations with people about, and this person is fully aware of who you are, and they don't know who you are, bro.
Oh,
like,
man.
That
heartbroken.
That's got to be one of the most crushing things.
That's a crushing feeling, nigga.
Facts.
Hey, and I love the fact that he knew, I don't know you, but I know you somebody, because you mentioned Tony and this shit.
Yeah.
So now I'm really curious, like, what's your name again?
Who is you? Like, I know your people. Like, did your dad? I remember the last name. Maybe your dad's the dad that I remember from like
go to area.
Yeah, Johnny talked to you about me, right? Johnny who? Sack? Like that moment of just realizing
Johnny
like,
Sack will be mentioning you.
Johnny who?
Yeah,
Sack?
like
bro. Golly.
Yeah, man.
Paulie goes in there.
The whole world came crumbling down. Right
this man looks in the mirror like, man, I've been on dope.
The way that he staggered into the bath, that was perfect.
That was perfect. This man looking like
and looking like that, like, oh my God, I can't believe how much of a fool I just made myself.
Bro, he got played crazy, bro. Like he realizes, like, nigga, I didn't verify nothing. I've been sharing information with him. I ain't verified none of that.
That's a good. Yeah.
Carmine adores you. Carmine asks about you. There could be changes.
You all the time.
Bro, it's crazy. Like it's all these moments. Like I told you, that invisible relationship that never actually was there is ridiculous. Like Johnny Sack got you, man. Come on. Carmela comes home and Carmela's in the dumps, and she says that she would be happy if she didn't have to see Meadow anymore. She notices she got something in the mail that is like from Italy, but it's like about haircuts or whatever. Then her and Tony have a small conversation. Tony just make a conversation, and he basically like, man, I'm just trying to make conversation. She's like, well, then I thought Spike could kind of relate to this. It's like, well, nigga, if you didn't care, then why are we even having this conversation?
Yeah, like, what we talking
that's
about?
1,000% the way I would have looked at it.
That's like both y'all.
Yeah.
It's like, bro, okay, if you don't really care, then why are you talking about? I just trying to make conversation.
I hate small talk. I hate it.
Yeah, I was.
I'd rather sit in silence.
Yeah, me too.
I was here enjoying all of this shit before you came up and talked to me about it. Why are we talking about this now?
I'm at that age now, yeah. I'm with y'all.
Don't hit me with that weather's nice shit. Like, hey man, I don't give a fuck about none of that, bro.
Bro, I didn't change since we've been doing another week in the books, bro. I swear, like now I'd be like, when people just be small talking, like, all right, cool. Yeah, because I was wondering, like, because people do overly explanations on stuff, and I'm like, okay, yeah, just want to make sure, cool, got it.
Yeah.
Say what you mean the first time.
Yeah,
like, I love that phrase.
You just being an energy vampire, like, bro. Like, stop trying to steal my shit. Like, bro, I'm good. I'm right here. I ain't got to participate in none of that. Like, leave me alone.
Yeah. We get Meadow and AJ. AJ tells her that they have been going over to Furio's a lot, and then he passes gas and says, meeting over.
I hate AJ.
It's just it's just like teenage white boy vibes.
It is teenage white boy shit.
That's it. Like we're black, so for those that listen, we're black.
Bro,
we don't get that. Like we're black, so that's just teenage vibes.
Do anything like that.
I'm not gonna.
Do you think that it was strange that Meadow picked up on this way more quickly than anybody else?
No, it's not strange. I'll tell you something that is strange here in a few scenes.
Okay. Well, I will say, Tony, for one, Tony says, they say you like your mother, but you're all me. Tony picks up on things, just like he did at the dinner where he was like, oh, I'm not gay. He immediately picked up like, whoa, wait a minute. You know what I mean? So that's one. Two, she remember last season when she was in college and she was still with Noah, and her mom, she was like, she was giving the whole insight on where their marriage was. And she's like, okay, well, let me hear your opinion. Carmela, and she's like, you know what? I'm not going to even get into that.
Touching that.
Yeah, I ain't even going to touch that. So she has that type of insight. Meadow is just a brilliant child like that. Like that's just, she's the one in that family. But yeah, anything else y'all want to add to this scene? I mean, I love to see them two interact. It's been a while, so it's good to see them two interact with one another.
I just love the fact that Meadow wasn't just taking face value for shit. There's got to be similar to Another Week in the Books. Ask another question. There's got to be something else going on. Let me ask AJ. Even though, just think about it. Meadow's smart enough to know I shouldn't be asking AJ for shit, but you were around the house. Let me just see if you noticed anything. And just from that information, she put two and two together real quick. And it reminds me a lot of AJ just being a dimwit, not even knowing what he's doing. It really reminded me of him telling Livia that Tony was in therapy. Like just blabbing shit out without even knowing how serious the shit it is.
Yeah, like Jackie
and Jr. You around and you can't. If I met her, I'm like, you can't pick up on the fact that mom is. You ain't put them dots together.
Yeah, you're more worried about farting and me getting out the room. Like, bro, come on.
Or like he told about the Jackie Jr. He's like dead, or whatever. Paulie pulls up.
The highlight of his life was farting right there. So better would leave. Like there was for him that was like, oh,
I don't even know if he got buns, bro. Paulie pulls up to the Golden Girl #1's house, and
this is crazy. This is crazy.
This man's trying to go under the bed to find the money that he's under there. Then this nigga pops up. He's just like, oh, I was gonna knock, your door was open. Like this man like has the worst lies. It was just like, hey, I tell you what, next time we go out, we're gonna go and do this. Hey, like it's dark in the house and everything. Like Paulie comes from under the bed thinking that like we're about to have a regular conversation. Like, hey, what's going on? Like, oh, I was just checking it. And she's like, bro, I've known you since you were a little boy, bro. You've been on that type of time. And he just thought it was just gonna be some casual thing. Like, oh, shit. Paulie's so sloppy, bro. Golly.
Because there's nothing worse than being in a position like that's one of those positions where you have no excuse for what you're doing.
Yep.
Like you're guilty, bro.
There's like no they said, like we should be having this conversation.
Like Kanan said in Power, man. Whatever they say he did that shit.
He did it.
He's guilty as fuck. Like Paulie, bro, you look crazy right now.
Yeah. So Paulie,
I just love how it all ties into everything. When Seal is telling him, bro, you know that such and such made more than you did. Like, bro, have you seen the envelopes that this dude been giving? And as soon as Paulie hears that, it's like, okay, here's an easy lick that I think is going to happen. So I'm gonna go hit her up and go to her mattress fund so my envelope will be bigger. I just think this is a wonderful thing to add into the world, even with people who like maybe feel a certain way about Paulie, how he's a lovable, adorable character. Nah, I'm still about that life. I'm still gonna go get it by any means necessary.
Yeah, and we every season we got to see
her, right? Yeah,
he killed her, and I mean that was really haunting to see her eyes after that. It was like, oh goodness gracious, like you know,
and was proud about the envelope too.
Oh yeah, definitely proud about it. Like he's like, you taking up space, and I mean this nigga, and he's like, I gotta take this phone call from Johnny Sack. He's like, what is, you know, he playing a whole different tone. Now he dissing him like, oh, what that nigga want? Like he immediately like jumping on like, oh, this is what my loyalty is. And he gave him a nice envelope, but yeah,
we should hate Paulie for this shit. The fact that niggas chuckled.
Well, you know why we don't hate Paulie for it? Because this came after University. When University
I don't even
came,
think it's that.
I do think it's that. I do think it is because when college happened with Tony, we was like, okay, we should probably start hating him for what he did. But then we was like, okay, well, he's a snitch. He killed Febby. We got it. But when we get to Employee of the Month and we're like, oh, this is horrible. And then right after University, when Ralph does that horrible act on Tracy, that broke us of this shock thing. And then we even see Seal, how he deals before that with Tracy, snatching her around, slapping her, telling you owe me, you in a hole with me $3,000. So I think once we start to see the nastiness, the horribleness of these guys, by the time you get to Paulie right here, we're not shocked or surprised no more. Even with Tony killing Ralph, knowing his son in the hospital. So this right here, if it was meant to make us hate Paulie, it wasn't going to work because we already had enough material prior to this moment.
That's my grandma, man. That's a little bit. I don't know. For some reason, it's just a little different, man. You broken this old woman. Like, imagine if one of your mans did that, bro. Like, imagine one of your mans. There's no way you could even fuck with him, bro.
But it wasn't a nice woman. Like, she was like, she was. They showed us,
and that's the thing.
Yeah, it makes it fine. Like I said, it's. Go ahead. My bad.
No, just you would like that because they wanted to show us, which I know that's what Spike was alluding to. Like, oh, this is the payoff, but.
It was because look, they didn't even want his mom in the crew, so it's not far fetched for him to be like, "I will fuck these hoes. I'm gonna rob them, and if something come up in the midst of me robbing them, I am going to kill her. Like, cause y'all don't even fuck with my moms, and that's how much I fuck with my moms. It's crazy to think about, and that's how outlandish the Paulie Walnut's character is, but." You get it as a watcher of this show. It's like, bro, like y'all didn't even fuck with my girl. And now I'm in a position where it's you or her having the best outcome. You gotta die. And that was hilarious. I just think that was hilarious.
It's just another day for Paulie, bro.
Yeah, like
Paulie's character, bro.
Paulie might be the only character where you find it hilarious.
And went and gave that money to Tony happily. Like it wasn't no grief. We ain't seen no periods of time with him, and it's like, oh, I'm struggling with this. Like, nah, bro. I just took this money and killed this woman. Here you go, Tony. I want you to look at me in a better light.
It's all in the game.
It's all in the game, yo.
Nigga said, what you robbing, bank?
Right. I wonder how much was in that envelope, man.
Oh, man.
Enough to get Tony's attention. Tony's like, shit.
Pac shit. He was on some Bishop and Juice shit.
Definitely was on some, for sure. It's crazy. Tony and Meadow, before her trip, Tony actually has a clear thinking moment with Meadow. And it seemed like Meadow's kind of intrigued by this. I won't say impressed. Intrigued is probably more the word. And she was surprised that Tony was in therapy. Mr. Mob Boss over here. So I thought this was just such an interesting interaction. Of course, she has insight to know that it's more than what he thinks it is. Menopause, or she's has an unfulfilledness is a part of it, but it's more than that. And obviously Meadow puts it together that like, oh, she's unhappy with the marriage, which I'm going to keep a close eye on that come next episode. Anything I want to add to this interaction between father and daughter?
That was when Spike was talking earlier about Meadow putting everything together. If we were surprised by that, what I'm really surprised about is that Meadow's the last person in the family to know that Tony was in therapy. Like Meadow, AJ knows, Carmela knows.
AJ knows?
Meadow, yes, he's the one that told
Olivia. Right, he did tell Olivia. Okay.
Yeah, but Meadow doesn't know. The one person that would be not even just understanding, but pro therapy, like will really be a cheerleader and really be somebody that could support him during that journey, just didn't know. And I just thought that was very interesting. And it's not like he just went. This is 4 years in.
True.
You know what I'm saying? And she just found out. It's also just that funny mix of, even though she was still in the house, living under the roof when he started, once you leave the crib, even if you go down the street, once you leave the crib, you just start missing out on shit because you ain't there. There's little small stuff that you just don't miss out on. And if somebody casually brings it up, you're like, whoa, when this happened? Oh shit, I forgot you don't even live here no more. Yeah, this been happening, blah, blah, blah. Or you come back to visit and they done move stuff around or rearrange. Like that's just the beginning of this relationship is changing. I'm not the kid on the roof anymore. And obviously Meadow knowing what's going on and to take Spike's point from earlier about the dinner scene. Sometimes it ain't worth it being right. I know why mom's really going through this, and I'm asking you, Meadow's got that kind of look like you think that's what it really is. And if you can't put the dots together, then I'm not going to do it for you. Like, you know what? Me telling you this information ain't going to do nobody any good. So I'm just going to let you have it. Yeah, wise child, man. Meadow's like that's why I wouldn't want a Meadow spinoff, man. Because Meadow's going to do everything right except for Parallel Park.
Oh, what a good call! That's fire, bro. Get that. Okay, and we got a few more scenes here before we get out of here. We got Johnny and Tony meet, and in so many words, Johnny is giving the same sentiment that Carmine had earlier in the season of the I appreciate your thoughts, where he's saying like, you know, man, Carmine, his health, which I don't know if y'all believe in theories later, and I'll be interested to see what y'all think. But he's like, man, he has great health, and hopefully everything works out for him. And he kind of leaves it there. And then when he leaves the car, Tony's like, oh crap. He picks up like, you want him whacked. And then our last scene, we get Tony and Carmela. She's watching TV, and Tony just pretty much tries to encourage Carmela about hopefully Meadow can one day be like you. And that's the end of the episode. So anything I want to add to the Johnny and Tony meeting or the Tony and Carmela pillow talk conversation?
Nothing really to the Johnny and Tony meet, just because it is very similar to the phone call between Carmine and Tony. It's kind of same situation. And then the last thing is, I've been saying it all episode, Tony leaning over to her like she's talking to Carmela about Meadow, like she's a smart, independent woman that you made her to be. Aren't you proud? And like Carmela thinking to herself, like, I wanted to make me that. Like I said, everything that people say about Meadow, she wishes it was herself.
Yeah.
So that's just a perfect way to close the episode, with it being a heavy theme throughout.
What say you, Spike?
Agree. No, I agree with that.
With that, yeah.
It really gave off the "it should have been me" attitude.
It should have been me.
Yeah, I ain't really fucking with Meadow, and on top of all the stuff that happened with Furio. Yeah, so I agree.
Okay, yeah, I agree with that. I think it's a very interesting thing that Johnny Sack talks about his health. He don't necessarily talk about him being whacked. Just talked about his health. And I think that's just an interesting way of talking about it versus Carmine. We was talking about possibly whacking Johnny Sack. So we'll see when we get to that point.
I mentioned earlier, man, that's why you don't play with certain things. Remember they said that shit about Carmela made up that lie about getting robbed on Thanksgiving by saying Hugh had something, and a couple episodes later this nigga's sick or something.
Bro, I told y'all, like, I really don't play like that, because when I be saying things, it be happening. So I don't. That's why I really don't play like that. I'm like, nah.
Speak things into existence.
And I ain't even that guy. Like, I don't put no extra stake on that. I just know, don't be just saying anything. But yeah, that is our episode. But before we get out of here, of course, y'all, we like to leave this show with some rankings, because that's what we do here on Good Earners, reviewing The Sopranos. So without further ado, let me get our sheet set up here. You brothers are actually tagged into it because we're coming to the end of this, and I would be very interested to see your thoughts. So, Spike Lou, this episode, how do you rank it?
This is a made episode.
Made episode. Oh, I gotta hear this. Why?
Well, I mean, the options are what: Good Earner, made, and just another envelope, right?
Just yep.
Yeah, I feel like this was a good setup for the next episode. This is going to be something that we will lean into and get to see what happens with Furio leaving, with all of the stuff that New York and New Jersey has going on with the 40%, and is that something he's going to take? So I feel like it was a good setup made episode.
Okay. Spike
Not
Lee
a
has
good earn, but
spoken.
made.
Rich, what say you?
It's very interesting because this episode is unique in the fact that it teeter-totters between made and good earner to me.
Yep.
Like there's definitely some made moments and there's some good earner moments. At the end of the day, I'm going with good earner. I'm not giving it that made status. I completely understand why it is made to you. It's one of those quiet. Now I will say this: it's a very high-ranking good earner. Like it's more towards
very
the bottom.
low-ranking made.
Yeah, very like it's if you take the lowest made episodes and the highest good earners is right in that like merger. Because it's right there. And who knows? 5 years from now, when I rewatch this series, I'm probably gonna have it a made episode. It's really good, especially for a penultimate episode, because you expect that action. You expect something big to happen, and it does happen, but it doesn't happen in a dramatic fashion. But that shouldn't overshadow the fact that it's a very elite episode, very good. I just couldn't give it a made. You know what I'm saying? I'm the nigga that gave Reasonable Doubt 4 mics.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I'm not in real life. I'm using that as a comparison.
Oh, like okay, because
as a comparison, like and you know what I mean. It could be made. I'm the nigga that gave the slam dunk contest a 9 instead of unanimous 10. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I got you. It's definitely a good earner for me as well. Everything that Rich said, I can't give it made because here's what happens. It's that you had a bad relationship, then the next girl comes through and she's hitting all of the right buttons, and now she's just the greatest chick. Well, not really. She's just a rebound on a bad situation. And last episode was just another envelope. So this episode comes through and it can fake you out like it's a maid, but really it's a good earner. So that's what made what this episode is for me personally. But yeah, Spike Lee, who gets the good earner chain from you on this episode.
The good earner chain for me on this episode, excluding Tony Soprano.
It's a hard one too. Think about it.
It is, man. Pause too.
Yeah, pause. Yeah, for sure. For sure.
It's a hard one. It's great.
For sure. I knew it when I said it, but I was like, maybe, maybe we ain't gonna challenge the call.
No, we don't do that. We don't do that every time.
Try to hurry up and run the next play.
Shit. This is a good one, man.
Yeah, it is. Because I'm thinking about it too.
The good earner for this episode, I would have to say, would be. Damn.
I got mine.
think I'm about to say I think one could be pretty obvious.
Go,
if you
Rich.
would.
Let me.
Okay, all right, Rich. Go throw it in Rich court. Watch, he probably
Pauly Gutierrez, man. Pauly Gutierrez, good earner. Pauly Gutierrez, good earner, man. He finally came to his senses, got the realization that he's not the guy that he thought he was. He had to take that look in the mirror, reestablish his alliance with Jersey and Tony, and by all means necessary, did what he had to do to get that bag, man. Now I'm in good standing. Now niggas off my ass, ain't questioning my loyalty. I'm about to make my way back in.
Okay.
Pauly was in a bad spot when you think about it, man. He was really in no man's land for a while. He didn't even know it. So the fact that in one episode you can get that information and bounce back, I got to give you the good earner because there's a lot of L's this episode, but he's one that I think's benefited the most out of everything that happened.
Yeah, I might have to I might have to make an edit that I'm gonna make a change for us. Oh, that Pauly said. All right, anyway. What say you?
Mine is Little Carmine.
Okay.
I think Little Carmine, he made the pivot when he was talking to his dad to throw Tony under the bus and disagree with John to let people know I'm here and I want Little Carmine. Little Carmine.
Man, I gotta go. I think this is low hanging fruit. Meadow Soprano, bro. She got all the info. She got all the understanding. Her dinner went well. She knows what she's talking about. Her mom is hating. And that's not a good thing, obviously, if this is your mother. But like, the fact of the matter is, it ain't really you, but you're doing something right. You know what I mean? And unfortunately, your mom is envious of it. You know, she was in her bag this whole episode. Like, I feel like she stood on business. She was solid the entire episode. I really like this type of Meadow energy for real, for real. Now they're gonna do some later things with her that I'm not gonna like energy wise, but this was a moment. So she gets the good earning chain for me. Spike Lee will get the broken balls, and we may be trips, but I think we're relatively gonna be in the same jurisdiction.
For Broken Balls Awards, this episode, you think everybody may
I think it's. I'll be honest. It's really only
very clear.
It's only two characters, to be honest.
And there's really only one. It's really only one.
Top two, and it's not.
Y'all go ahead. Then.
Yeah, Carmella is easily the Broken Balls Award.
Okay, I got to hear why. Because it could be Furio. Let's just be clear.
She just lost the love of her life, Tasha.
Okay. Gotcha. Okay.
She no, it's not Furio because we're not invested in Furio's character. And Furio got out. Furio had nothing to lose anyway. Carmella was the one that had the money on the table. She's got the family, she's got the husband, she's got everything, the lifestyle. Furio, man, he can do exactly what he did. I can just pack up my shit, leave a message at 4:30 in the morning and bounce. I'll get over my grief how I need to get over my grief, but no harm, no foul. Carmella got to live with it. She got to look at Tony every single day, realizing this is not the nigga I want to be with. I got to look at my daughter knowing that you live in the life that I wish I could live for myself. Got to look at my son knowing that you fucking a dipshit. Like there's just so many things, and like I want this. I got to look at my husband and also realize that the things that I wanted to do to you, I can't, but you can do it to me, and you doing it with people that you don't even care about. I actually love Furio. I actually feel something. Like it's a whole lot of stuff that goes into it. And just that, I think the one shot that I would think of every time I watch this episode is her finding out that his house was on the sale market. That look. Like that physically sick look. Like that's the moment to let you know she is the broken boss.
With the family groceries in the car. I'm headed to the crib to make sure the crib's straight. But that look with the crib, yeah, you're right. Yeah, Carmella for me.
Carmella too. Like it's easy. I was thinking Furio, but the more you said, I was like, yeah, I'm with you. You sold that for sure. And lastly, Spike Lee, what is your favorite moment of this episode, Eloise?
The favorite scene of this episode is the golf course scene.
Okay.
Luke Carmine flipping the script. Like, bro, what do you have going on? And Johnny Sack being genuinely confused about, like, bro, we talked about this. I thought that you was on the same wave with me. Like, that was my favorite scene from this.
Nice. That's on brand too. What about you, Rich?
There were a lot of funny moments in this episode that I want to shout out. Like one was the chopper, like the whole chopper situation. Like how the fuck they know we got a chopper? I didn't know there was that many gays back then. You know, no offense, I'm not gay. That's hilarious. That's one of the funny Soprano moments.
Yeah, subtlety.
But my favorite scene is gonna be Paulie and Seal. Because that's
wormy cocksucker, you know
that was needed. That was neat. Like sometimes it can work both ways, right? Sometimes you've been a part of a crew or a family for so long that you stop seeing yourself. You know what I'm saying? Start to lose yourself a little bit. Paulie had no idea that these talks, even though he's in the wrong, even though he's doing it, mind you, he had no idea that people even thought that way about him. So Seal just being on some real shit, like, yo, I'm going off the record because we got history, bro. Like this is your rep right now. This is who you are. Like I'm not just saying this; other people noticing it too, and that's all I'm gonna say about it. Just that conversation that was needed. You don't really see too many guys have those type of real talks with each other. So I appreciated it, and kind of got Paulie in line to be on some like, not that he expected to meet with Carmine at that wedding. But like, let me pull up on Carmine real quick if I do see him and just see, because I'm about to make this change right now. It was kind of like that deciding factor. Like, no matter what, I have to make a choice. Either I'm gonna fuck with them or I'm gonna go over here, and it kind of expedited that process.
Nobody knows what the future holds, my friend.
Yeah.
I would have to say, man, Tony pulling up at Meadows Sunday dinner, just how charming he was. Like talking to Finn about, hey, you can knock their teeth out and then you can put them back in. And even when Carmella looked really silly not having any information, and how Tony just jumped on the wave with them on the joke about, the gay book thing or whatever, just how Tony just like, he knew I'm not familiar with none of this, but he just jumped, he kind of had a witty joke. And even when she was just like, I said I'll eat the mushrooms later, he just looked at her like, we've all been there as men. It was like, okay, so you really about to start acting like this. Okay. I gotta reroute because I know what you about to behold today. So I just love how Tony I love seeing him in civilian settings, like AJ playing football. I just love seeing Tony in those elements because he really works well for a person to be as psychotic as Tony is. So I enjoyed that charm that Tony had at Meadows Sunday dinner. Yeah. And that is our episode, man. We thank y'all for tuning in. We're glad to be back as we returned last week as far as us being trips, a couple of treat things. Y'all can tune in. I mean, y'all can reach out to us. Good Earner Pod _Sopranos on Instagram. DM, it's very easy to get access to us. We definitely will respond. If we won't respond there, we'll respond on the episode. So stay tuned. Shouts out to all of the listeners. We're getting new subscriptions pretty frequently. So shouts out to all of them on YouTube. So we're on YouTube, Apple, Spotify, any place you can find it. We're definitely one of the top Soprano podcasts in recent history. Y'all can also email us, goodearnerpod@gmail.com, if y'all want to reach us that way, and that's your form of contact. We welcome all of our supporters. We thank y'all for listening. And remember, don't forget about it.